listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, if I take like a couple edibles, dude, like it's so good for my fucking tummy, Jimmy. Louis, it's good for my knee. Mm-hmm. Chris, the producer, I'm staying the life for Frozen in Glee, motherfucker.
Oh, so
I'm having a good. Listen to me. I'm having a good time at Disney.
That's good. You're screaming motherfucker at Disney.
The world knows. The Unfiltered Army knows how much of a good time I'm having. But go ahead. What were you guys talking about?
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. We are an MMA podcast that talks about the MMA podcast you should catch, skip, and can't miss each week, as well as we try to listen to a new show each week. We'll get into that in a minute. I am Pulver, and I'm here with my co-host, Chris Madaffer. We're recording the day after Thanksgiving. How's your holiday going, bruh?
Good, man. I probably just about 30 minutes ago got done eating some leftovers, which were
Hell
great.
Yeah.
So,
Tis the season for leftovers, right?
Oh yeah, the amount of leftovers I have probably gonna last me a couple more days. So
sweet. Yeah,
which is great.
Well, one of the best things about the holiday season, doobie-doobie-doo, as a little freckle man would say. Anyway, we will go ahead and roll into format. Oh, wait, before we do that, we should get into our totally real, super not fake Papa Vodka presents Doug Stanhope presents our sponsor. Didn't fuck it up that time. What are you drinking on this week?
So right now in my hand, brought to you by Carl Strauss, the Wreck Alley Imperial Stout.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Brewed with cocoa nibs and coffee beans from Bird Rock Coffee Roasters here in San Diego.
That's right. Shouts out to Bird Rock Coffee Roasters in La Jolla.
Oh yeah. How about you, man?
I am actually drinking on AleSmith Special Pills, which I have not had before, but it's very good.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen. What color is the can or bottle?
Light blue.
Light blue. Oh, I've seen that can. Yeah, I've never tried it, though.
Yeah, they spell special with the Z to make it ultra German official. Okay. But, it's delicious. I've been a big fan of Pilsners lately. I've just been all about light beers, just like some crisp, refreshing shit that isn't either a hot bomb or a super... Although, I say that, I did pick up a barrel-aged Imperial oatmeal stout today, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, whatever tastes good.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to end up saving... I picked up the 2018 version of the Fremont Dark Star barrel-aged edition. I think I'm going to save that for episode 100 where we're doing some cool shit.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Bevmo today to pick up this beer, and the guy mentioned that to me. He's like, by the way, in the back we've got a couple of these left if you want one. I was like, well, guess I know how that's going.
Hell yeah, man.
Cool, dude. Well, we will go ahead and jump into format. It's been a weird week for podcasts, for sure, just because either a lot of shows are off, a lot of shows pre-taped or either last week or early this week, and it's just been interesting to see. I always find it interesting on holiday weeks where you see who's really committed to making a podcast and who's getting paid to make a podcast, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately, you just kind of see how that progresses or regresses.
Well, and you just also get a very weird selection of podcasts that come out. Because, a lot of the smaller shows still do them, but a lot of the bigger shows, if they did do a podcast, they did it, Monday or whatever. So, and a lot of hosts out of the studio and that kind of stuff, which I'll definitely get into at some point. But why don't we go ahead and jump into format? Why don't you kick us off with the MMA podcast you recommend people catch this week?
So my catch for this week, for me, I enjoyed Heavy Hands.
It was a really good episode.
Yeah. This one for me is good. I like the cold open. That was funny.
Anytime a podcast opens with dick jokes, I'm already kind of a fan.
Yeah, I knew it was inevitable that they'd keep making those references, just as both you and I have.
Yep,
we talking about Yadong.
We 100% have done that and will continue to, I'm sure. It's hard not to. As I tweeted to Evil Greg Jackson, one of those hosts, Phil, this week, it's hard not to be high on Yadong.
I mean, jokes about your dong will never be flaccid on this podcast.
well done.
So, this past weekend, according to Connor and Phil, was also known as UFC No Surprises. What is a surprise to listeners is, Chris, I did not see any fight at all from UFC Argentina.
Is that surprising? I feel like that card and this card are imminently skippable.
Surprising to me because I usually catch a couple of fights, whether it's like a Fight Pass prelim or I catch the latter part of the main, or like the main card in general. But I had family in town and I was busy Saturday and Sunday, so I was like, I'm not gonna be that guy who's on your goddamn phone when I have cousins I haven't seen in a while, you know. So
yeah. You're hanging out with your cousin.
My cousins. They talked about is Francis Ngannou even ready for this rematch? Which rematch, do you ask? He is fighting tomorrow morning.
Honestly, we're recording this at, what time is it? 8 o'clock? Almost 8:30 Pacific time. So he's fighting in 4 hours. So essentially right around the time we are, actually he's towards the main card. So he's fighting in like 7 hours. I think it says the main card
starts at 3:30 a.m.?
Yeah, 3:30 a.m. Pacific.
Okay, so he'll be fighting probably around like 5:36 or 6:30.
Probably not even that late because it's Fight Pass.
Yeah. Is Ngannou even ready for the rematch? Curtis Blaydes, who is still on an impressive streak since his initial loss to Ngannou in their first matchup, which was I think 2 years ago.
Something like that.
Is a classic wrestling boxer, while Ngannou is a counterpuncher. So it's a heavy hands episode when you are reciting the phrase wrestle boxer.
Yep. That is some Conor Reba shit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I've heard Bruce Buffer announce. So who is it?
Bruce Buffer announces whatever they ask. Like,
yeah,
I've heard
he just says
Bruce Buffer announced someone as a gangster recently, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just thinking of Dominic Cruz, and there's another fight. He goes, is a boxer and a wrestler fighter or something like that. Right. But not wrestle boxer. So they said it's challenging for Blaydes in the sense that he has to set up his shots against a counterpuncher and one that hits very hard. Connor is wondering why every sandwich in the United Kingdom is dry. Where's the mayo or mustard?
That conversation is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah,
super ridiculous.
There was a lot of edits, but it was pretty entertaining to me. And if I recall, when I was in London 11 years ago as a teenager, I do recall, yes, the sandwiches were very dry indeed.
Does that surprise anyone if British food is dry or a little bland?
Well, I think
it's like being like, oh, you know how Irish food all tastes like nothing?
Yeah, I even remember when I had shank of lamb, which is a very British food. You have to load it up.
Well, if you're going to be stabbing lamb like that.
Yeah, you have to load it with a bunch of mint jelly. So basically, you have to just add shit to it to make it taste good.
Also, mint jelly is British as shit.
Yeah.
Or European, anyway.
Yeah, so and I remember, I think even Michael Bisping said one time on his podcast, yeah, British food's not really that great, unless you're just a traditionalist.
Although no, because Bisping does love, like, he was talking about how, like, blood pudding's not great. Well, no, I think he did say blood pudding is good, which most people I know who've had blood pudding, me not being one of them, generally think it's alright.
I know
once you can get past the whole irony thing. I don't mean irony, I mean iron-y.
As funny as the name may sound, Spotted Dick, is a bread pudding or bread item.
Which also is a tricky name in a couple ways, because bread pudding is not a pudding made of bread.
It is not. Yeah. It's I mean, well, every nation, every culture has its own twists and turns when it comes to this food. I guess. Maybe not. Some, I guess, are straightforward. I mean,
that's true.
You can't really get more straightforward than a hamburger and fries, too. So.
True, but like when you think, if you were to tell somebody in another country, hey, here's a hot dog, they'd be like, what the fuck are you feeding me?
Yeah, what? Oh, you mean a sausage? Oh, okay.
Right.
Sure. Wait, what's up with it? Or like, imagine a German go, that bratwurst looks fucking weird, man.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Polish people get real confused.
Or excuse me, it looks weird. So then they discussed Song Yudong. Then they talked about Santiago Ponzinibbio was a nightmare matchup for Neil Magny from the beginning, and it showed.
Leg kicks alone, I think we even talked about it last week. That was always going to be a nightmare matchup because the way Magny stands and because of the way Pons works the calf kick.
I forgot. Is Ponzinibbio at American Top Team? I think he is.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Here, I should. Yeah, those are the only notes I had.
Overall, it was just a good episode. They talked a little bit about how Ricardo Lamas and Ponzinibbio worked fairly similar game plans in very different ways. Where Ricardo Lamas just chopped Darren Elkins down with those like low calf kicks and just beat him up on the feet. And Neil Magny, he caught that punch to the eye and was pawing at it for most of the fight. It's an interesting episode, and it's a good example of why that show is fun, because they will make weird, snarky, like, insider jokes about a bunch of dumb shit that's not related, but then also Conor Rebush will drop the phrase wrestle boxer and talk about style matchups a whole bunch, so I just always like that show. It's always one of my go-tos that I don't miss every week.
Same with me. I always got to give it a listen, even if it's like half the episode. It's just something that's I'm gonna take something from it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So, how about you? I know you said you listened to a couple more podcasts than me.
Yeah. I did catch a couple. One that I do recommend checking out for one of my 2 catches this week is the Wonder Twins Power Podcast, Episode 4. That's the show hosted by Steffi Haynes, a.k.a. Crooklyn, and Ian Kidd. And they had the president of VADA on, not WADA, not USADA, but VADA, the Volunteer Anti-Doping Association. The president is Margaret Goodman, and she just talks about her history in the sport and how she became kind of involved. Talks about being friends with the Fertittas back in the day. She talks about Dana being her boxer-size trainer back in the day. There's definitely some interesting stuff. And then she goes into kind of a spiel on why she started VADA to test both athletes and the regulators that were actually working the events. And she goes into detail on how the prohibited list came about and why they do use and don't use certain... why they do ban and don't ban certain types of, I guess, both why they don't use certain types of rules that USADA and them use. She mentioned something that was really interesting, though, that I hadn't thought about, and that she made the argument it's weird to have in competition and out of competition differences. Because if something helps out of competition, then technically it's also helping in competition.
Yeah,
I thought that was a pretty interesting argument, and it makes a lot of sense, to be honest.
That does make sense. Yeah, because that's part of your preparation leading up to the fight.
Exactly. So if you can use, and so, while also they go into depth on what the definition of performance enhancing really is, and how she was involved in changing the thresholds for cannabis, which, again, is one of those things where, in competition, out of competition, is it helpful for some people? Yes. Does that mean it's performance enhancing? Maybe, but in the same way that creatine or anything else is, Yeah,
because you can make the argument, creatine, helps me, consume more, coincides with protein, it helps you, gain more muscle faster, what's cannabis going to do in some form? Is it going to, it's going to make me more alert in some aspects, or is it going to, I don't know, I wouldn't ever want to try to fight while high, or
no, but you're also not Nick Diaz either.
That too. Yeah.
You're not just fighting the Fireball Kid all fucked up and boxing the shit out of him for catching him in a goddamn Go-Go Plata. By the way, everybody go back and rewatch that. I think it's Pride 33 with Gomi and Diaz. That shit is so fucking fun. He is so high during that fight. Yeah, just a lot of interesting discussions. She talks about like the lack of uniformity across commissions and how testing a single sample can cost up to $1,500, which is pretty wild when you think about how those costs add up.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And that's just like what it cost them to test something, because they don't test it themselves; they send it to a lab. So like a standard lab test costs around $1,500 per sample, which is pretty wild.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sciencey shit, I feel like
exactly.
does have a lot of its cost, which is why scientists who say have breakthroughs in technology or medicine or any I guess just science as just in the vague term, right? You need funding. If you don't have funding, it's just...
Well, and you got to pay those motherfuckers for the degrees they got, so...
Yeah, and I feel like
shit
a lot
adds
of
up
scientists
quickly.
in the beginning take out loans, and that's how they can afford their expensive fucking equipment.
Well, it's that, and you're paying for credibility, essentially, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my catch. I do have another catch. Did you only have the one this week?
I mean, I'll be honest, I wrote notes for about 5 podcasts, and all of them are worth mentioning. I don't have any knock against any of them. I'm going to mention all of them. I will say, like, which one I guess I could say I like the most.
Sure. I mean, I would say save your can't miss if you have one. Yeah. But if you have another catch you want to throw out, go for it.
Yeah, the other catch I'll go ahead and throw out. It's been a while since it was a catch for me on this podcast, admittedly, depending on the in-studio guest, and I know you know which podcast this is, so we're probably leading. UFC Unfiltered. And
okay, so I'm really curious whether it's the one where fucking Luis J. Gomez is in studio or not.
Oh, yeah.
I just listened to that.
Yeah, I think it's always... Him and Jim always do a good job paired together. I do like listening to Matt, and of course, even though when Matt's gone, he always does call in, and yes...
That's what saved that episode, in my opinion.
It was from Disney World, I think is where he was at.
That's right. Actually, you guys heard on the intro this week, Matt yelling about how he's high on edibles at Disneyland. Or Disney World.
Yeah, I have a coworker too. He always goes to Disneyland with his wife. He says he always has to be on edibles, especially when he's in line. I'm like,
I mean, you might as well.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, but this is episode 248, and it was a solid one. I think it would have been better if Matt was in studio and Luis J. Gomez was nowhere around, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of skipped through the first couple minutes because he talked about him doing anger management stuff and jiu-jitsu calms him down. I get that.
Oh, you mean after he was late to the podcast?
Oh, I see. I honestly, literally, when I pressed play, I just skipped like 5 to 6 minutes in, I think.
You did that correctly.
Cool. Well, yeah, good for him. He was late. The reason why I listened to this is because Ben Askren was on the phone. And it's always fun giving a listen to Ben Askren, what he has to say. He talked about how he initially signed with One in 2013. By the way, is it called One Championship, One FC? What the fuck is it called again?
One Championship.
Okay, I guess I'll just...
Yeah, so it used to be called One FC, and then they changed their name to One Championship. And the way you can tell is because journalists and fighters have clearly been told over and over again to only say One Championship and not One FC. Because they'll all say One FC and then correct themselves, and like very vocally. And you'll notice, like, especially dudes like Ben Askren and DJ and Gary Tonin, a lot of those guys, they'll specifically go out of their way to correct people and say, oh, it's One Championship, not One FC.
To be fair, One FC, at least if I was European, sounds like One Football Club.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason, and I think also it's one of those things that doesn't translate well. Like, from what I understand is, they've made a big effort to correct people on that. From what I've seen.
One FC almost sounds like you should just abbreviate it as the OFC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And OFC sounds like a weird football club out of Oklahoma or some shit.
Yeah, like OKC, the Thunder, or something like that.
That's actually exactly what it sounds like.
Ben talks about his experience in China during his time with One. They asked him about Tyron Woodley. How long have you known him? He's known him since he was 18 at Missouri, and I think Woodley's about a year or two older. Woodley was a sophomore.
Something like that. There's a great picture of them together for like a promo thing.
I saw that, yeah.
In singlets. Yeah, it's real good.
That was cool. They've trained together since then, college, since they're at Missouri, and he's helped Tyron in most of his camps, I believe. I can't remember how he's.
Yeah, he was Damian Maia for that camp.
Yep, I remember he talked about how awkward and weird it was to emulate Damian Maia, especially because he keeps shooting in that same style over.
Well, especially
over
since,
over.
Can you imagine Ben Askren shooting a single leg, intentionally failing it, and then trying to pull guard over and over? It's like against his nature in every single way.
Yeah, I think he said it frustrated him during that camp.
Yeah.
They asked him, of course, that question that everyone's going to always ask him: would you ever fight Tyron? He says he would never fight Tyron and sees it as pointless because there are other guys he'd rather fight and be mad at.
Lewis kept pushing that narrative because, of course, Lewis doesn't follow the fucking sport. So he just kept going over that over and over again. Where it's like, well, yeah, but bro, who you gonna? If you're not gonna fight Tyron, who are you even gonna fight, bro?
Yeah, I heard him kind of just keep pushing that too. It's like, dude, it just means he'll fight someone else who's champion. Maybe when Tyron retires or moves up to 185, which I think he says he's going to do.
I mean, I think they're kind of banking on the 75 division.
Or that too, yeah. So then they asked him, is your fight against Robbie Lawler confirmed? I believe he said it is. They just
he said it is.
An official announcement. He says if he beats Robbie Lawler convincingly and then Tyron were to somehow get hurt, then he'd want to fight Colby next.
Yeah, I believe he said there's no way Tyron ever loses to Colby, but if for somehow Tyron blows out both his ACL and MCL before the fight starts and then loses as a result, then I'll fuck Colby up.
Yeah. And they talked about weight cutting when he was with one. He says he loved not having to do a water cut in a 24-hour period before fights. So it was great.
Yep.
He
mentioned he walks at 183 to 185.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, oh, wow. So
one weight cutting is very sketchy though, because they don't make any of the results public for weigh-ins. So it's like, I believe Ben Askren was coming in at 183 to 185. I don't know about everyone else on the roster.
Makes sense, or it doesn't make sense. However you want to interpret that, I guess. Actually.
Yeah. I'm sure Misha Tate will sort it all out shortly.
Yeah, surely. He said
no, not Shirley, Misha.
No, yeah. Surely you can't be serious.
Apologies. A fucking terrible... I almost called him Liam Neeson, but that's not his name.
Leslie Nielsen. How dare you?
How close was I?
Pretty
Liam
close.
Neeson, Leslie Nielsen.
You were Mr. Magoo levels close.
Yeah,
you had your eyes partially open.
Exactly. I was on the adjacent airplane.
You were Frank Drebin, and as far as your awareness,
nailed it.
Yeah, he had doubt that the TJ trade for him would actually go through. I can't remember if he correlated that with just the whole Dana thing from 2013, 2014.
I know that Lewis and Jim both hinted at it a lot, and we're like, oh, so why were you blocked by Dana? It's like, well, first off, motherfucker, everybody knows this by now, right? Like, they're back and forth for the last 10 fucking years almost.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's not out there. Let's see. He says he doesn't think... they asked him... so, coming from one and going to the UFC, you're going to have a huge change in competition. He doesn't think change in competition matters. He says because no fighter who ever changes their routine or preparation does well after doing that. So why would he change his preparation what he's done now? He's not going to change anything what he does already. Because it's just going to fuck up just the way you prepare for fights, the way you execute your game plan, all that. There's no point in changing or say, oh no, my opponents are going to be more difficult now. Do I need to ramp it up? No, just keep doing what you've been doing.
Well, especially when you have the skill set that dominates the majority of the world, and you're one of the best in the world at it. It's like, I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing and continue to beat up world-class athletes, so...
Yeah. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't,
Yeah.
fix it.
So, this episode was almost a skip for me because of this next part where not Matt, Jim, or no, actually, you know what? Matt calls in and that part's very funny. But if Matt wasn't on the phone during the UFC China picks, it would have been the worst segment in all of MMA podcasts, maybe. So, fucking Jim Norton and Luis J. Gomez trying to fake like they know who they're talking about is one of the worst fight pick segments I've ever heard.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to it because I don't even think I got that far.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, picture how many of the people Luis J. Gomez knows on a tough what's essentially a tough China. This is my question.
How many racist or stereotypical comments did he make?
Surprisingly little, which, okay. I mean, I think is because he doesn't know what race any of them are, so he doesn't know what joke to make.
The fact that literally most of them are Chinese, but are...
Yeah. No, actually, bro, that would require him
all of them are Chinese? Holy shit.
Yeah, pretty much. That would require him Googling any of these people.
I was just expecting him to make like some fucking dumbass like Jackie Chan or Jet Li or Bruce Lee joke. Like, okay, go on.
Yeah, I mean, it would not surprise me, Conor McGregor style. You just fucking call
like,
every Asian people Jackie Chan.
I just be like, you know what, Jim or Matt, I think this guy's gonna win because his drunken fist style is better.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
But yeah, no, the best part is Matt actually semi-knows who some of the people are, and Chris, the producer, is a fucking saving grace on that show since he actually knows everybody. He's like, no, you guys, Song Yadong is really good. You should really pay attention to him. He's legit. And Luis J. Gomez, does 2 minutes of, Song Yadong is very well-schooled, he's well-rounded, and then admits he has no idea what he's talking about and doesn't know who any of the people are. So, it was, yeah, that's the reason why I didn't make it as a catch for me this week, but...
That's totally fair.
If Matt was in studio, though, it definitely would have been.
Totally fair.
Yeah. Also, Matt Serra makes fun of Jim Norton for being a Fairweather fan of Ngannou.
Oh,
just keeps clowning on him, because he's like, Jim goes on to explain that, I'm pretty sure Ngannou... having trouble, and I don't see him doing very well in this fight, even though he beat him previously. And Matt just clowns him for being fair weather as fuck. It's like, weren't you very high on Ngannou before the Stipe fight, and we're talking up how you think he's the next best fighter ever?
Yeah, I remember that actually pretty distinctively.
Yeah, pretty funny. So, it's definitely worth checking out, and it's one of their better episodes, but I still think it would... their show's really gotten a lot sharper in the last bit. I just wish they were in studio together more.
Yeah, I mean, vacation, family time, whatever, that'll do it. It's totally understandable, so I just like that they still come in, still call in. I actually appreciate that.
Yeah, especially when Matt Serra's high on edibles and you can hear Pirates of the Caribbean music in the background. Definitely pretty solid.
To be fair, that'd be a very, very fun ride to be very high on.
Oh, I've been so high on that ride that my girlfriend threw up in it on ecstasy. How about that?
Fun. Don't know if I'm
Shouts out to my senior trip.
Yeah, see, I think last time I was my senior trip too, and I was very high on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which is one of my favorite rides, or the Haunted House. Pick your choice.
Sure, yeah, any of those are solid rides to be very high on. Also, this was when vapes were a thing, because that would have made that much easier. I had to smoke a joint vapes inside this. Yeah, I had to smoke a joint inside the sleeve of my sweatshirt. Is how I was very high at Disneyland.
Oh, I remember this dude gave me some THC droplets. They're like eye drops, but they had concentrated THC in them. You just put them on your tongue and you get high. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, like the Listerine strip kind of things? Or was it was it just a dropper?
It was just a drop.
Yeah. It's tinctures, bro.
Yeah. Duh.
Back when tinctures were a thing. Word. Here's the secret. Was it alcohol based or glycerin based? Meaning, did it taste like butter or booze?
Definitely not booze.
Okay, then it was definitely glycerin based.
Yeah.
That is girlfriend Karen going to go smoke with opening the squeakiest door of all time. I really need to fucking oil that. Speaking of oils. Let's see. So the other catch that I had this week, because you didn't have any other notes about Unfiltered, right?
Nope.
Cool. The other catch I had this week was co-main event episode 331.
That's another podcast I listened to as well.
Was that your can't miss?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't like a distinct can't miss.
Then I'm gonna save it for your can't miss. Actually, yeah, we'll save it for your can't miss.
Okay, cool.
So let's see. Did you have a podcast people should skip this week?
Not really.
Me neither. There wasn't enough shows to have a podcast people should skip.
I mean,
probably Brendan Schaub with Chuck on. I'm guessing. I didn't listen to it, but it sounds very skippable.
If I Did It was good, but it was more John Nash was being hilarious in that. Who are the top 5 opponents for Conor McGregor right now? Number 1, John Cena. That was pretty fucking good. And I think that will happen in about 2 or 3 years. Well, who am I kidding? He'll probably retire. I don't know. Number 2, Nick or Nate Diaz. They said Khabib's got to be up there in the top 5 at some point, maybe. But I think Khabib retires after like 1 or 2 more fights.
We'll see. Yeah, it's hard to judge Khabib because Khabib has like very different motives than the UFC does.
Yeah, I mean his manager is great at getting him fights, but his manager's also a hothead. So
and his manager's also terrible at paying for his fucking children, evidently. So
never mind. I was gonna make another.
Fucking no, I know.
About his kid, but
we both. Yeah, no. You can only say the name Noah so many times on a podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say he left his kid just like God left Noah to an ark, but I was like, that's too stupid.
That's a stretch, but I enjoy it. Although to be fair, you do have what's your name on the fantasy league, the Magwar League?
The 1 quarter one is Noah's dad.
That's right.
And I chose that because I found a picture of Ali hoisting up one of his fighters, but what's great is that it cuts off the face of the fighter, so you have no idea who that is. And you can't really read his name on his shorts, because the Reebok kit is fucking trash. Like we always say.
No, it's pretty solid. So, I mean, to be fair, you have Noah's dad as yours. I have Salty Kala as mine. So we really have all the shit managers covered in the Magwar leagues. I feel like. And
then don't forget number 1 bullshit guy, who's basically
right. That's right.
And it shows a picture, of him smiling, Ali very happy, and Khabib looking very not happy. It's pretty great.
Definitely solid.
So, also on If I Did It, I'll scroll through these quick little notes I had. What I didn't realize is I did hear about Cody McKenzie getting in trouble with the Nevada State Athletic Commission for a contaminated urine sample. I believe.
It was just fake piss.
Or fake is what I should say, but contaminated in the sense that he trifled with it. He manipulated the test.
Right. It was very hot, for what I understand.
Yeah.
And it was fake. It was like synthetic urine.
I think, Eugene said he just put a shitload of water in the sample. However, what I didn't know what happened is Cody McKenzie is now filing a sexual harassment suit against one of the athletic commission guys, because apparently one of the athletic commission guys is like, all right, now I have to watch you piss. And he's like, no. And he said, let me show you how to do it. And he whipped out his dick.
He's like, it's not that big a deal. And he pulled his dick out of it.
In front of Cody. And apparently Cody said it was just uncomfortable because the guy just had his dick hanging out and just wouldn't put it away. Like he's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I'm trying to...
For sure, yeah. It's good to know those are the people who are checking in on fucking fighters about whether or not they're clean. This dude's just pulling dongs out.
I would love to see someone try that on Yoel Romero.
Also, that was fucking Nevada. Like, that's one of the most well-respected athletic commissions, and that shit's happening. Could you imagine, like, the fucking Wyoming Athletic Commission and what the kind of shit that... Or the West Virginia Athletic Commission and the type of shit that's happening there?
I could imagine some things, but couldn't also imagine others. Eugene tells a story of when Phil Baroni, I believe he said, did a piss test.
The best ever.
Best ever. And he apparently barely could piss and submitted a sample that was not fulfilling. And they're like, hey, man, you gotta piss more for us. And he's like, that's all I got. All right, you can wait for me all you want. And he just, like, stood there and left. So, Phil Baroni.
That checks out. Phil Baroni's never looked like a juicy boy, so.
Yeah. And then I know they do their things like Legion of Doom and that kind of thing, and Lost Battalion. I saw this story on the internet or article. Apparently there is a Navy SEAL who's been arrested for alleged war crimes in Africa. Apparently this guy ran a prostitution ring, allegedly, and also strangled to death a fellow Green Beret.
Not fellow, because he was not a Green Beret. He was something else.
Oh, what? They said Navy SEAL strangled Green Beret. Okay,
right.
But
yeah. But yeah, I believe it was a Bloody Elbow article. It's fucked up. It happened a while back, too, and they just finally got around to prosecuting. And there was like 4 or 5 dudes involved in that.
Yeah, I know Eugene, I think he said... I mean, I've never been in the military, so I'm not going to, obviously pass any judgment, and I have no experience in that, so I don't know what goes on out there, but based on a lot of these men and women are trained fucking killers... Literally, I could see...
I mean, that's literally their job.
A lot of shady shit can go on, or you get pressured into doing stuff, or it's definitely not a fun fucking job. There's no way it can be, unless you're a sadist.
Hey, Chris, I've played Spec Ops: The Line.
No, I was gonna say,
I know what goes on
unless you're a sadist.
Yeah.
Or you're Frank Castle. Then there's that. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. So there was that. And of course, Eugene is always going to mention some fucked up story like that because that's his style.
100%. Can't help himself.
So, did you particularly have any skips or half skips?
I didn't really. My only half skip would have been UFC Unfiltered because Matt wasn't in studio and we had to listen to a lot more Luis J. Gomez. But overall, like, everything was pretty decent this week that came out. There's nothing that stood out to me as, like, not worth your time. Yeah. So, why don't we go ahead and jump into your episode you recommend people can't miss this week?
So, for me, it was a can't miss mainly because I haven't listened to this show in probably a month or two.
Oh, wow.
Co-main event.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It was a really good one.
They said nicknames for Johnny Walker.
That was one of the best parts about it.
How about Black Label? And I think this is before one of them realized that I don't know if he's like African Brazilian or just whatever he's by blood. Because I think it was Chad bailed on the joke after he realized that.
A lot of people have been making that joke, like Johnny Walker Black, and then I don't think enough of them are realizing that you can't just make an African American fighter's nickname Black.
But then again,
without it being real rough.
I think I was the piece of shit. I think I made a fucking racist joke last week on our podcast.
It would not surprise me.
Didn't I say, what is he, Brown Label? Or something like that? Didn't I say something terrible? I probably did.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure
apologies.
repeating it definitely definitely helped as well. But I love their suggestion of Johnny Walker Neat.
I love that. I thought that was hilarious.
Neat Neat's a fucking fantastic nickname for that dude. So I'm a big fan of that idea.
They said, should we cheer on fighters like Nick Heinisch? He's a guy who sold drugs, got in trouble for it. They said, can you really call someone who sells ecstasy at a party or to other people a bad person? How about can we cheer for someone like Greg Hardy, who we would never like to mention? No.
Right.
Someone who puts his hands on women. So, yeah. Good for Nick Heinisch and what he's done.
Good for you, Nick Heinisch, for selling ecstasy. I fucks with you.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean,
hey, if I cut off everyone I knew who sold ecstasy, I wouldn't talk to a lot of people, including my own brother. So,
the one thing I like to say,
sold in the past, but
allegedly too, of course. Nick Heinisch.
Not allegedly. I bought hella ecstasy off my brother at one point, but he doesn't sell it anymore.
Then there it is. Nick Heinisch apparently was in Spanish jail, and of course, if you've ever been to Europe or know anything about the European prison system, they like to actually rehabilitate. Something that we don't do here. And excuse me for the little political side jab, but had to do it.
Yeah, well, we like to rehabilitate. We like to rehabilitate our wallets off of enslaved people.
Yeah, pretty much. So, there's that too. They said
other dark jokes aside.
Yeah. They said a situation where two judges score 29-28 for one guy, and then some asshole goes 30-27 the other way. This was listener mail. Someone suggested this, and I apologize for forgetting their name. Should this be called a birdie? Yes, it's a golf term, but they're referencing the acclaimed and fantastic judge, Adelaide Bird, who did totally not ruin one of the best boxing fights I've seen. Excuse me.
She's ruined up. She's ruined more than just that. She's the reason
why I will never, and I always say this, okay, this isn't true. I will never watch a welterweight or middleweight bout in boxing again when it comes to when it basically just comes to Canelo in general, or any of those fighters surrounding that, like including Pacquiao. If I'm going to watch boxing, it's going to be heavyweight. Because you know which fight is coming up in about 2 weeks, right? A fucking mega
Wilder?
The biggest, yes. Deontay Wilder and Tyson fucking Fury, dude. 2 undefeated.
Speaking of which, I think Usyk fights this weekend? Next weekend, sometime soon? Conor Rebush has been talking up that fight a lot. I believe he did a Patreon episode about it.
But yeah, the only weight class you give a shit about is heavyweights right now in boxing, and any fight that Vasily Lomachenko is involved in, because that dude is insane. Anyways,
and that's what's dope about I believe it's Usyk. I'm probably fucking up his name because I don't follow boxing enough, but he is essentially, from what I understand, I think he's a cruiserweight, but he trains with Lomachenko and is a fucking beast like him, evidently. And Conor is banking.
Yeah, I've heard the name Usyk. I've never watched him, unfortunately. At least I don't remember watching him.
I believe he's fighting on DAZN. I'm not positive. I'm probably wrong about that, but I think he might be.
It probably is.
Oh wait, what am I talking about? DAZN. He's obviously not fighting on DAZN. That's
DAZN,
a real thing.
on DAZN or Datsun, whatever. If you're into cars. Anyways,
yeah,
they said
he's fighting on that SP250.
They said should it be called a bird.
There's a joke two people get.
Said should it be called a birdie or perhaps duck duck goose? I'm partial duck duck goose because I feel like that's how the judging is.
Yeah, I would go with eeny meeny miny mo if it didn't have racist connotations in the past.
Yeah, thank you, Grandma, for ruining that for me when I was a kid.
Oh boy. Chris is an Italian grandma.
No, not at all. My grandpa was Italian. It up. My grandmother is English and Danish, and her mother was straight up English. But
the English have never been racist, so I don't know how that could possibly.
She was white and grew up in Maywood, Los Angeles County, so that's all you have to know. And then yeah, traditional white people in America, folks. Anyways, what did they say? They said Ponzinibbio dominated the fight with leg kicks and combinations from start to finish. Something a lot of podcasts reiterated, but that's what happened. That's how it went down.
I mean, it was nasty way the beating he put on Neil Magny.
I just saw a clip of the finish. I was like, holy fuck.
That was like, you didn't see the 800 leg kicks and hobbling that happened in between those. Like, Neil Magny got put on his ass from eating leg kicks a ton in that fight. And he was just eating shot. Like, if Pons would have just leaned on either throwing more leg kicks or winging bombs more, he would have won that fight way earlier. But he was just picking Magny.
And I think they mentioned that too. They felt like he could have, if he wanted to put away Magny earlier, he had opportunities to do so.
Yeah. His corner the corner of Magny sending him out for the fourth is, I get it, but still, bro, like, I don't know.
They said they both believe that Ponzinibbio is a legit title contender at this point. They said as far as the rest of the card, some of these cards you have to fast forward through unless someone like your uncle is fighting or someone you know, which is a fair point. As in the case of my cousin. They said the next opponent for Ponzi should be Kamaru Usman or Rafael dos Anjos. Do you think it should be the loser of that fight for Ponzi, or...
They like to do winners against winners.
Yeah.
The only thing, though, is if Askren, depending on how bad a beating Askren puts on Robbie Lawler, Askren might get the winner of those two.
I like that, too. Especially if it's Usman, you two wrestlers.
Yeah. And I don't think you can give you don't want to kill Ponzi off with Askren because Askren will wrestle fuck the shit out of him, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a tough out for sure, but there's definitely some interesting matchups to be made with Ponzinibbio for sure. Because he looked very good in that fight.
They said, and this is where I stopped writing notes because they mentioned Bellator, and I got triggered from last week.
Oh yeah, which I think most of that got cut out because, again, apologies about the goddamn garbage. Fucking Audacity totally screwed me last week and didn't save the first part. But yeah, Bellator being tape delayed, I refused to watch that card, even though I heard it was okay. I know Ryan Couture got a finish and fucking Pitbull and what's his face? Oh my god, Weichel. When was it Weichel?
I really couldn't even tell you, to be honest.
I know Pitbull's fought Weichel before. I just don't remember if that was this fight again. I think so. Anyway, that's how invested I am in that fucking Bellator.
Which Pitbull
card.
was it? Pat or Pat?
It was Little Pitbull.
Patricky, right? Is it him or Patricio? I don't. Dude, I still
I can
don't
never
know.
remember which one's
I literally
which.
don't know because they both have fucking mustaches and they're both called Pitbull. And I don't know how to say their last name. That's why I call him Patricky Friday.
Right. It's the exact reason why Lil Nog and Big Nog went by Lil and Big, even though they're the same size almost.
Yeah, and aren't they literally twins? That's
yeah.
That fucking never helps.
Right.
Like one's bigger, I get it. That helps. Like just like
Lil Pitbull's the beast one who's just been styling on dudes.
Okay, then it must have been that one because they did mention his name.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they talked about that, and then they talked about Chuck versus Tito. And they did mention that Ben's going to go over to Chad's house and watch the Chuck and Tito fight with Chad's dad, and he's going to bring his half-drank box of wine, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, didn't they say it'll be like 2004 all over again or something like that with your dad?
Yeah. I also appreciate all the box wine jokes that they make. Because I'm all about those space bags, bruh.
Dude, you would love the space bags that I've had to gut like a fish with like a knife to make the sangria work. It's a mess.
Don't doubt that. That's hilarious. Yeah, if you guys don't know, you can, if you want, drink boxed wine in the box, or you can be cool, take the bag out of the box, and then do 5 to 10 second chugs of the bagged wine while everyone around you squeezes it super hard. And
we don't recommend you doing this if you
recommend it.
No. Only if you get acid reflux, because then you're not going to have
No, and no one else will either when you throw up back into the space bag.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, man, I could definitely see that was a can't miss. It was on the edge for me, so I fully enjoyed it.
Oh, real quick, did you write notes? I couldn't hear them when they were talking about the "Are you fucking kidding me?" I couldn't. Did you?
I didn't catch that. No.
Okay.
I don't have any notes on it.
I'm gonna have to go back because it sounded kind of wild. What someone tried to do.
I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's all good. So how about you? What do you got for your...
So for my can't miss, I have Protect Your Neck, Dan Tom's show, episode 102.
Nice.
And I just really like this one. I don't have a ton of notes about it. If you guys don't know, Dan Tom is a co-host on MMA Junkie Radio. He also does his own show where he goes through the entire card and gives picks. And his picks are very good, but the main two reasons why I thought this was a can't miss is, number one, he tells a bunch of cool stories about going to China back in the day.
Oh, wow.
They're pretty cool stories. Not all that MMA related, but somewhat. Like, he talks about how him and his buddy snuck skateboards into China, and they did a mini reenactment of the Tony Hawk. God, what is it? Is it the Swiss? It's the fucking red. What's the goddamn bearing company that I can't remember the name of? Red Bones? That's not right.
Wait.
It's definitely not Red Bones.
Wait, what was your question? Sorry.
There's a skate video that Tony Hawk and Steve Caballero and a bunch of dudes were in. It has red in the name.
Oh, Red Dragons, right?
No, Red Dragon is something else. Red Dragon is
that's Jason Ellis's thing. Never mind.
Is it? I thought Red Dragon was the movie with Hannibal Lecter.
No. Red Dragons. It's a skateboarding thing that Jason Ellis always endorses when he was a skateboarder.
Bone Swiss? I think it's Bone Swiss. What the fuck is that? Here, let me just Google Tony Hawk China skate video. What the fuck is it? Animal Chin. Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry, that took me a minute. Yeah, the search for Animal Chin. They like kind of recreated that. He talks about going around and hanging out in China, because Dan Thomas, I think, a quarter Chinese, something like that, half Chinese, some amount of Chinese. And yeah, he just tells some interesting stories about that trip. He talks about getting chased by a dude with a butcher knife at one point for just looking menacing with the skateboard.
Oh, great.
And then he also has incredible pronunciations of all the fighters' names.
Thank God.
Because, yeah, exactly. Because he knows a little bit of Mandarin.
You might need to help me then when we do our little miniature preview of this.
There's some of them that I know. There's some of them that I will still butcher.
Because
like
this
the
is
very
what I'll
first
do.
one.
Of course, I'll try. And we'll see if you can help me.
I'm still not convinced I know how to pronounce the name of the dude who's fighting Luis Smolka, but the rest of them I think I have.
That was my main concern, but I will try.
Yeah, that one will be interesting. But overall, it's just a very good episode. He did his research a little bit less in depth than normal, but then again, it's a lot of debuts for a lot of these fighters who've been on either smaller shows or on like feeder kind of stuff, like Contender Series. So I just really enjoyed the episode, and it's a unique take on both the Chinese MMA scene and just Dan Tom's experience in China. I thought it was informative and fun.
Cool, man. Yeah, it just makes me want to travel again.
Yeah, exactly. Even though China kind of scares the shit out of me.
Oh, I would not go there, admittedly. If I'm going to go to Asia, I'm going to
South Korea, bro.
Japan. Yeah, these are my three picks. Japan, South Korea, or Thailand. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Those are the three. My order would go South Korea, Japan, and then Thailand, but mostly just because I fucking love South Korea, bro. South Korea has all the coolest shit, and they're such a drinking country. They love them some booze. Shouts out to Zane Lamprey's show, 3 Sheets that he did in South Korea.
Oh, by the way, speaking of that, my favorite bartender, who I give shout out to at work, Rick, he's like 38, but he's a huge beer and booze guy. He told me he used to watch that show. It's
like the booze show of all booze shows. Yeah. It's the go-to one. So Zane Lamprey might actually come up in a little bit. But that was all I had for the Can't Miss. And I actually, this week, did not get around to any new shows. I don't know if you did.
Neither did I, unfortunately.
It was one of those weeks where stuff was slow. I will say, though, that on my list, hopefully for the next week, for the next show we do, is going to be, I want to cover Mixed Combat Radio, and I want to cover the MMA Nerd. The MMA Nerd is a chick who is on Twitter. I can't remember her name. I want to say Ashley, but I think that's wrong. But she's very funny and like very sweet on Twitter, so I want to check out her show. I've been meaning to for a while now.
Okay, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that, and if you guys want to follow along, go ahead and listen to that one this upcoming week, because she butchers the shit out of pronunciations of names for what I've heard. So this week's might actually be a good one to check out if you're looking for it. But let's see. Why don't you jump into? Do you have a well-rounded pick this week?
I do.
So, we should give a disclaimer for the well-rounded co-main event style. Co-main event podcast a while back did the what is it? What do they always do? Picks for the well-rounded fight fan or something like that.
Yes, I believe that's what they call it.
And so we wanted to implement a similar thing where we talk about podcasts that are not MMA related that are just dope as hell that we heard this week. So what do you got?
So mine was an ESPN 30 for 30 podcast. It's much.
I haven't listened to those in forever. Since the UFC one.
Yeah. Since the UFC one, I listened to one all about Madden as far as the video game franchise, which was pretty fascinating. The development of that. So this one, since I'm not big as a baseball guy as I used to be, but this book that this former baseball player and very, 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 very big roid junkie, Jose Canseco, he wrote a book called Juiced, which basically, he snitched on the majority of major steroid users whom a lot of those, out of those people, he helped take steroids. Amongst those, Mark McGuire, who was teammates with Canseco in like the late 80s at the Oakland Athletics, as well as Rafael Palmeiro, and he talks about Barry Bonds. Like, basically, when baseball was fun to watch in the late 90s, when everyone had huge heads, their fucking shoulders were way too massive, and then they were hitting fucking home runs like 475, 480 feet. You know? That, like, remember you'd tune in, like, to the All-Star game, you'd want to watch the home run derby just because everyone was juiced out of their fucking minds?
Oh, yeah. Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire were in a fucking Hulk Hogan arm measuring contest for a while there.
Yeah. It's just like, and what's ironic about all that, out of all those juice heads, besides Canseco being a fucking idiot and a moron, Barry Bonds was also very unlikable. It's like, at least if you're going to do roids, be likable. Like Mark
didn't he rat everybody out?
No, that was Canseco who wrote this book. He ratted everyone out.
So, was Barry Bonds the guy who was too dumb to rat anybody out? Like, he did something very dumb during this process.
No, that was Rafael Palmeiro.
Okay.
And Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens, the famous, I mean, if he didn't take steroids, Hall of Fame pitcher. He was amazing for the Red Sox in the late 80s. You know, he was with the Astros, the Yankees, right? He lied to Congress, which you never do.
That's a bad policy. Yeah. Don't lie to Congress.
But the fun part about listening to it was Jose Canseco was part of the podcast too. Like, he narrated, and the funny part is the beginning is he retired in 2002. He didn't realize, holy shit, I'm only 38 home runs shy of 500 career home runs, and at that time, if you hit 500 career home runs, that's pretty much gets you into the Hall of Fame. So he had an open tryout for the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2004, and Tommy Lasorda, he was a manager for the Dodgers in like the 80s.
Good old Tommy Lasorda.
And he was just there like as a scout, and he just wants to scout the talent. And he told the press to say, "Hey, how did Canseco look? Oh, he's out of shape. You know, he just doesn't have it anymore." And Jose Canseco goes, "Fuck that fat pasta-eating, stupid-looking troll," or some shit like that. Like, what the fuck does he know about athleticism? That guy could barely stand up. It was just kind of funny, because it's just a total meathead jock response, you know.
100%. And Lasorda's notoriously a dick, too, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure it was also mainly because Canseco was salty that the Dodgers beat the Athletics in the '88 World Series. So, whatever. You know, that's probably with it too. Anyways, the thing that was fascinating was just the process of his book being made, and that the writer for him that helped him write the book, he said it was always awkward when he was there writing with Canseco, because Canseco would have him sit next to him in his bedroom. Like, Jose would be lying down on his bed that had like satin and silk, like fucking fancy sheets, and he would just be lying down. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, whoever the author's name is, I have to be lying down for certain reasons for my health." I don't know.
What the fuck kind of Mariah Carey crazy nonsense is that?
Thank you. So Jose Canseco was quite the character. Another part is the publisher said, so in order for this book to sell, and by the way, the book was like #1 for a long time. It was, dude, like, think about it. If you're a big baseball guy, like, holy fuck, I want to find out who's also been juicing, you know? Of course you're going to buy the book.
It's like every WWE book.
Yeah, pretty much. But the funny part about the book is they told him, "Hey man, you got to have something in here that hooks in non-baseball fans." And it was like, "Okay, I'll just talk about when I partied all the time." And it basically turned into like an episode of Eastbound and Down, where he said,
nice.
He and his teammates would ride limos. They'd just pick up just the hottest chicks they possibly could see just from clubs. They bring them back to the hotel and do like beauty pageant shows and shit. And I was just like, what the fuck? And they would just get all fucked up, do a bunch of drugs. And I was like, yep, that sounds like baseball. That just sounds like sports. That is just sports in general.
It sounds like cocaine era sports is what it sounds like.
Cocaine and steroids and booze.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just what
the 80s were a hell of a time, Chris.
Yeah, and this was the 90s mostly too, because Canseco was pretty young. He was in the minors. He was like a career minor leaguer in like the 80s. He wasn't really a pro until like 87, right? And then he retired. But steroids would literally turn him into a pro. He like met this like bodybuilding guy that he knew in high school who introduced him to steroids. So yeah. Oh, and the one last tidbit, the funniest thing is the other guys. Oh, the most ironic thing, by the way, is Barry Bonds never got caught doing steroids, even though you can tell he did steroids. He never got caught, so good on him.
Isn't he very sanctimonious about it too?
He was at some point. And the ironic thing about Barry Bonds is he didn't need to take steroids, but whatever, he was already good enough. That's pretty much how most of them are, except for Canseco. He needed steroids. Anyways, the last tidbit on that is Rafael Palmeiro, who was teammates with Canseco during the congressional hearing. Oh, and by the way, guess which congressman was there? And I had no fucking clue, and it's hilarious hearing him. Bernie Sanders was on the fucking hearing. And he literally talks about, the 1% of baseball players not using steroids. I'm like, God damn it. It was pretty funny, though. But Rafael Palmeiro says, yeah, I've never taken steroids, blah, blah, blah. And Canseco goes, I literally injected you in the ass with steroids, but all right. So that was just the last. I just thought it was fascinating. It was a really well done 30 for 30. I definitely want to find the video form of it. Because, it's always fun seeing them. I know you've seen, like, the Bo Jackson one and the one about the U and all that.
Yeah. Love the ones that, what's his face? Billy, what's his...
Yeah, fuck.
The dude who did Cocaine Cowboys. I forget his name off the top of my head. He's actually working on Screwball right now, which I think is about A-Rod and the steroid scandal and all that stuff. So.
Yep, when he's at the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, for like so that one should be a lot of fun.
Either way, guys, the moral story: steroids is good for baseball. Really is.
Yeah, steroid is good for all sports where they don't hit each other in the fucking head.
Yeah, it's all good for non-combat sports. There you go.
Yeah,
that's correct.
100%. Please juice everyone. Well, I was gonna say please juice everyone in the NBA, but they already are.
Let's juice everyone in golf. Let's see 400 fucking 20-yard drives.
Oh. For sure, Tiger Woods has never been on any kind of steroid supplement.
Oh, it's totally not correlated to why he has back pains. No, not at all.
Yeah, no. Definitely. Or
from all the sex he was
can't
getting.
Stop banging. Yeah. Or the fact that he can't stop banging waitresses.
And porn stars.
Oh, man.
Evidently.
Yeah. Evidently. Speaking of which, there's a pay-per-view I never would have bought.
So, yeah, didn't you mention to me they had it for free anyway?
Yeah, I think they ended up doing it for free, which is probably good because I don't know how the fuck
I heard
sell
it was,
people
it was
golf.
excellent. Like, you don't have to like golf, but apparently during every hole that they played, they would make bets. And one was like, it's very interesting. Like, Tiger goes up to Phil.
Into that.
I saw they showed a clip on it was like on PGA Tour social media, like on Facebook. And he's like, hey, Phil, 200, I don't know if he means 200 grand, probably, knowing them. Nah, well, you know what? Yeah, he probably meant 200 grand, or just maybe $200. He's like 200 for whoever gets close to the pin, just right now on our tee off. And what was hilarious is their balls literally landed in the same like fucking spot. Like you couldn't have scripted it. It was hilarious.
That's funny. I would pay for fucking a Michael Jordan golf
with
pay-per-view
featuring Larry Bird and like other NBA legends.
Yeah. Basically just Looney Tunes the
Space
Jam Part 2 minus LeBron. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Just get Wayne Knight Newman back in there too.
100%.
He'll be fixing a divot.
Yeah, let Wayne Knight be the bookie and just let Michael Jordan bet everything he owns on a fucking golf game. Cool, man. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. I will definitely have to check that out. So for my well-rounded show this week, I actually have two. I don't have a ton to say about them, but Zane Lamprey show, or I believe it's called Zane's World is the name of that podcast now. He had Adam Carolla on to talk about, he actually recorded it in Adam's warehouse, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Which is a dope warehouse. I have pushed some of his cars around before.
I remember you mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, I've been up there a couple times and met Adam and all those guys, and because my buddy Gio, who we've talked about on the show a bunch. But they went on and they talked a lot about, it's basically all about cars. So if you're at all interested in cars, it's Adam talking about his old Paul Newman. All the old Paul Newman race cars that he owns and the fire suits and racing at Laguna Seca and that kind of shit. So really interesting. Plus they talk about booze a bit because Adam sells, of course, both Mangria, which here's a story. I once went to Adam Carolla's warehouse, got hammered on Mangria that they were serving out of a keg, and then just randomly rambled at Dr. Drew a bunch. So,
oh, yeah.
that was an experience that I probably should have done differently. But that was fun. Also, if you guys don't know what Mangria is, Adam Carolla sells a fortified wine that is essentially just wine with some like citrus fruit notes and vodka in it. That I think is like, I think he said they made it the lowest you can without it being booze, so it's like 19 point something %.
Okay.
Or 20 point something. But it'll fuck you up. I only had like 3 cups of that at like 10 a.m. and I got real hammered real quick. But yeah, it's just a fun episode. A lot about drinking, a lot about car racing, and some of the cool cars Adam owns. And then the only other show I wanted to shout out was the After Disaster. This is a show I've talked about a bit, I think a long time ago. But, excuse me, it's hosted by Anderson Cowan, formerly the engineer Anderson from Loveline. He also hosts the Film Vault with Bob Bryan. Cool. And he does a show with Mike Carano, who is just an all-around incredible fucking person and just fascinating as hell. Go check out the Miscellaneous Adventures of Mike Carano podcast, where he just like travels to the middle of the desert and goes to like weird fucking opera houses that exist out in fucking near the Salton Sea and weird shit like that. It's a very weird show. Also has Tyler White on it. But it's all about Anderson's. I'm gonna blow right past this because I don't want to bum everything out, but it's all about Anderson's dog passing away. If you've ever listened to Loveline or any of the stuff Anderson Cowan has done, Stanley, his dog, has been around for a lot of it. So there's a lot of stories about just like, it's kind of an interesting episode about him having to go through the process, putting his dog down. Not a super happy fun time podcast, but it's a really good one. And they also tell some of the fun stories about celebrities trying to steal Anderson's dog from Loveline over the years, like Andy Dick and a bunch of people.
That checks out.
Yeah.
How coked out of his mind was fucking Andy Dick?
Oh, I mean, 100%, like always. He was coked out and trying to hook up with some 17-year-old boy in the corner, I'm sure.
Yeah. That unfortunately checks out as well.
Yep. But yeah, just it's a really good podcast. The After Disaster, I definitely recommend checking it out. There's an infamous episode where they are hanging out in the studio. They used to get hammered back in the early ones before Mike Carano stopped drinking, so they would just get shit-faced in studio, and then they went outside and played with machetes in the parking lot for a while. So they've done some weird shit. They also had a downtown debacle episode where they were walking around Skid Row hammered. They've done some shit on that show. That sounds dangerous. So, but then yeah, it was interesting for sure. But those are those are my well-rounded episodes I recommend people check out. They are the After Disaster one is depressing, but for anyone who knows anything about Anderson Cowan or the history of that show, you'll definitely find it interesting. So let's see. Do you have any honorable mentions you wanted to shout out before we move on?
I would if I hadn't already mentioned all the podcasts I listened
to. Cool. Well, yeah. The only thing I wanted to shout out briefly, Submission Radio episode 176 was pretty good. Alex Volkanovski called in to talk about his fight against Chad Mendez that's coming up and training with Tyson Pedro. Israel Adesanya calls in to talk about his old dance days and his YouTube channel that Reddit found called, I think, Black Magic or something like that, where it was like his old YouTube channel where he was like doing b-boy shit. Let's see. Oh, Israel also talks a bit about meeting with Dana White and sitting in on a UFC board meeting, which is pretty cool to hear because he talked a little bit about that, which you rarely hear anything about any of that.
Yeah, it's true.
He also drops the phrase, "I heal fast. I'm like Wolverine or Deadpool," which I thought you would appreciate.
Well, of course, people are going to say that.
I mean, he does have a giant Deadpool tattoo, so...
That is true. Yeah, out. He does. Okay.
He's got a dope Deadpool.
I mean, he's already just a nerd in general, so I mean, he
clearly does. 100%.
I would embrace it too if I were him. I mean, he gives a fuck. He already does the little fucking Naruto run. And then just
yeah.
Into the octagon.
Well, and he does like the hand symbol stuff too.
That's right.
Let's see, and then he also did mention he might fight again before the end of the year, which I thought was interesting.
Ooh, that is interesting. I know he's been teasing something like you mentioned with Dana, I think, right? Something
yeah,
big.
he said he met with Dana, and they're like they're both on the same page of what they think the plan should be. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Let's see. Randy Couture calls in to talk about Ryan's fight at Bellator 209 and how he popped a rib in the second round. He also talks Tito versus Chuck. And then Sean Sheehan Skyped in to talk about what's next for Ponzinibbio and the week. They make fun of the weak UFC Adelaide card that's coming up, and Tito versus Chuck. So just a good episode. Let's see. MMA Road Show episode 191. They recorded on Thanksgiving, like at night, and they're drinking Jameson. So they talk a bit about the Argentina card. John plays an interview with Forrest Griffin and Duncan French talking about the new China UFC Performance Institute that they're building out in Shanghai, I believe it is. Then they talk a bit about the UFC China card and Red Dead, because of course. John Morgan's got real excited because someone told him, I think we mentioned last week, someone told him that you can like do cinematic mode and drink while you're riding from place to place. But then, of course, John Morgan accidentally got his horse killed doing that, and then didn't know you could revive horses. So R.I.P. to John Morgan's horse in that game.
I've named. What was it? A buddy of mine says he names his horses after like NBA legends, but so he names one of his horses Kobe, and then he tried naming it Larry for Larry Bird, but apparently Larry is an offensive word according to Red Dead Redemption 2.
I mean, understandably.
Yeah.
Larry Bird would have said some offensive shit regardless. So.
Yeah, I see. I'm just a huge Witcher 3 fan, or which I named my first horse Roach. So yeah.
Oh, of course. There you go. That's a solid pull. I can't remember my horse's name in that game. It's booze related, but I don't remember what it is.
Like Whiskey Throttle?
No, it's definitely not Whiskey Throttle. Something. Primo, named after the I think it's Costa Rican beer.
Okay.
Something like that.
Or what's that other Costa Rican beer?
There's a couple.
Fuck, what's it called?
Is it the green one?
No, it's red and black and like yellow and black and red.
Oh, Imperial.
Imperial. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Writer and the Fighter episode 26 was good. They talk about Rachel Ostovich and her piece of shit husband.
So I saw.
I don't even want to get into it, to be honest, because it's so fucking depressing. But yeah, he's a giant piece of shit and is up on he's got arrested on attempted murder charges.
Oh shit! Okay, I didn't see that. I saw the abuse, but
I think second degree.
Okay, well, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I believe the quote that came out was he was beating me so bad I started coughing up blood.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so fuck that piece of shit. Although shouts to Middle Easy who put up the clip of him getting knocked out in a former fight. So cheers to them on that. That felt good. Let's see. They also talk about Nick Diaz partying hard and saying that Cynthia Calvillo should get the shot against Paige Van Zant, step in for Rachel. Also, Jake Smith, one of the hosts of that show, says his new gimmick is he's just going to start calling himself Chael's adopted son since he's buddies with Chael and trains with him. He's like, I'm not even going to bring it up to Chael. I'm just gonna go around and start saying I'm his adopted son so I can start getting fucking fights. So I thought that was good. Let's see. MMA Hour 458 was pretty solid. Luke Thomas shits on Turkey for it being overrated. He goes over some of the Monday Morning Analyst stuff on Johnny Walker's slick clinch game against Khalil Roundtree and how Khalil could have defended it.
So Luke sounds like a ham kind of guy anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think he has the right opinion, which is that turkey is dry and boring.
Oh, no. This is the thing. You cook turkey the best way, and it's juicy, which is not easy.
Even when it is good,
don't get me wrong.
It's still the worst of the...
My stepmom did a fantastic job. It was fucking amazing turkey, but if you let it sit and eat everything else, like the stuffing and everything else, it's like, oh shit, it dries out, and you gotta load up more gravy, and you're like, oh no. You know?
Yep.
By the way, speaking of ham, sorry to interject, you know that honey baked ham place on Genesee that I've never been to, even though it sounds
I do.
fire? Yeah.
Yeah, the one right next to Vallarta.
Yeah, there was a fucking huge line on Wednesday.
There always is. It's always been like that.
Now I have to check it out.
Yeah, it's actually pretty solid. I used to work at Easy Takeout back when that was the place.
God damn it, I miss that place, dude. I miss all
me
their
too.
I miss all their obscure milkshake flavors like boysenberry. That shit was fire.
Oh, they had a fucking fire boysenberry milkshake. Yeah, that place, you could tell why that place got shut down, because when I worked there, they had metal grate flooring, but it was so fucking greasy that you would literally have to just slide from like the register to the grill and back. Because if you try to walk, you'll eat shit.
Wait. They had that as like the flooring?
Oh yeah, the flooring inside where you worked was just metal grate, but it was covered in grease. So you had to slide everywhere else. You would eat shit. Like, I fell a couple times. And there's a fucking hot-ass grill, too, that you're next to. So you have to be very careful. Also, it was, like, in a trailer, essentially.
That
place,
hey, sir,
I'm not surprised
why
that place doesn't exist
Why
anymore.
are there burnt hairs on my burger? Oh, sorry, I slipped where my arm got fucking singed.
That, and it was essentially just knockoff In-N-Out. But it was better than In-N-Out, as far as I'm concerned.
It's kind of like that secret, you know, like, dude, this is so good, but no one's gonna believe you. I know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
It was great, but yeah, it was a fucking shit show. I mean, yeah, man, that place. Anyway, so back to MMA Hour. Let's see. He played a pre-taped interview with Calvillo about her fight.
That's still so weird when he says that. I'm so sorry. Holy shit.
I know. It's the Colombian pronunciation of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he talks about how she says her missing weight was out of her control like 15 times because of her period.
Well,
so it's literally no, not well, because everyone else fucking makes weight.
Yeah,
everyone else is an adult.
That's why I
it.
said well, because like initially
and also,
I'll pause,
is
but
it
then
out
I'll
of your
remember that there's other people there's other fighters on their periods too. So that's why I said well, but yeah, I did basically a Larry David reaction.
Yeah,
you know
they make way. Yeah. A lot of shrugging and nodding back and forth. Like what? Wow. Well.
Yeah.
100%. What was upsetting to me is she just kept saying it was out of her control. It's like, yo, you could just not be ultra heavy going into fight week. That's also an option.
By the way, was Calvillo on short notice, or am I thinking of someone else?
Nope.
No. Okay. I was just curious.
She just straight up missed weight.
Damn.
And then just kept blaming it on her period.
Okay.
She also says at one point that maybe they should allow women on their period to come in 2 to 5 pounds heavier.
Yeah, backpedaling.
You can't do that. Yeah. Like, first off, how is that going to work? Like, do you have to produce a pad with blood on it to get that clearance? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, this just all sounds upsetting and just awkward as fuck.
Not great. He also played a pre-taped interview with Sean O'Malley talking about the NSAC ruling and him recovering from hip surgery. And he played a pre-taped interview with Curtis Blaydes talking about the rematch with Ngannou. So, pretty good. The only other one I wanted to shout out was Severe MMA did a State of the UFC address where Sean Sheehan and Graham McDonald go through and discuss each of the divisions. I guess they do this once a year where they just talk about kind of the state of each division in the UFC and what they think is next for it. So, pretty interesting, and I enjoyed it for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Cool, man. Anything else you wanted to shout out before we move on to Fight Night? Definitely not a tough card, China.
No, let's bring on tough.
Cool. Well, we will be right back, and we'll talk about this UFC Beijing card that's coming up in, let's see, what time is it? It is starting in 3 hours when we're recording this. So it's gonna be a tight.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna have to crank out this editing. But in the meantime, you guys can hear this clip of me reading the retraction statement from Fight TV about Chuck versus Tito sales on the pay-per-view. Regarding Black Friday sale, Liddell Ortiz 3 from Fight TV. On Friday, November 16th, Fight distributed an announcement about a time-limited Black Friday sale for Liddell Ortiz 3 pay-per-view, which was scheduled to go on sale for 2 hours during the ceremonial weigh-in stream on Fight TV. Unfortunately, upon further discussions with our partner, and with reference to our contractual obligations as a distributor of the fight, we were informed that we need to pull the promotion. It took time to assess the situation and to officially confirm on the sale cancellation, which we now sadly confirm. The promotion was designed with the best intentions to benefit the fight community. We sincerely apologize to fans, friends, and media for not being able to deliver, and for failing to communicate this in earlier notice. Apology is due to both our fans who planned on taking benefit from the sale, and those who helped us spread the word about it. We hope to see you around for Liddell Ortiz 3 live stream on Fight TV. For any additional questions, please contact us at some fucking email you'll never reach out to.
All right, we are back.
Yeah, we are.
For the preview of UFC Beijing, or is it UFC?
I believe it's UFC Beijing.
Let's just keep it at that. Fight Night 141, Blaydes versus Ngannou 2, which it's like, wow, they're already rematching, but you know what? That's the state of the heavyweight division, folks.
That's right. Instead of having a new heavyweight fight, we took the same two fighters, flew them to the other side of the world, and then made them do it again.
Yep.
Are you still drinking the same thing?
No, this time I have a very, very interesting beer that I never thought would exist. So, it is Arrogant Bastard, however...
Barrel-aged?
Black Metallic Stout.
Wait, what? Oh,
Exactly.
You mean Arrogant Bastard Brewing Company? Because I forgot. They got tired of ruining their own branding with the fucking "you're not worthy" bullshit of Arrogant Bastard. So they broke it off into a different brewing company, still made by them, but
it's pretty damn good.
Is it like what is it?
It tastes like Arrogant Bastard, but if Arrogant Bastard was a stout.
Okay, so it's just like
it's
basically
Arrogant Bastard
like a very hoppy,
a little
stout.
more flavor, like chocolatey, stouty.
How bitter is it? Because Arrogant Bastard is bitter as fuck.
So remember, I don't know if you recall. When is the last time you've had Arrogant Bastard?
Not that long ago, actually. I had because I picked up a can of it like a couple month ago maybe.
You remember when me and you would try or have Arrogant Bastard, whether it was at Players, right? And they had it on tap, and it's still very bitter as fuck and all that. Do you remember that? Did you ever remember realizing that once they broke off, it got less bitter?
I thought it got more bitter.
No, it got less bitter.
Maybe my palate changed. Because I stopped drinking a lot of those ultra bitter. The good news
is it's still a very good beer. This is an interesting flavor profile. I like it a lot.
Nice.
Just letting you know, I got this at Crest Liquor, right there on Balboa.
Oh, there you go.
Next to Chick-fil-A and that Kung Fu fucking place, whatever it's called.
I always forget that place is there.
Yeah, it's next to IHOP.
Yeah, right by where one of my favorite former pizza places was fucking
goddamn Giovanni's, dude. Fuck.
That place was so good. It's such a bummer.
Well, they only have one location now. Now it's in Linda Vista. It's actually next to Balance Point on Linda Vista Road.
Oh, nice.
USD.
Yeah, that location was actually that they used to have was dope too, because the whole upstairs was just a bar and pool tables, and they had the balcony, and they had fucking fantastic
the other
pizza.
Location that they had was right when you go from Tierra into Claremont, on Claremont Mesa Boulevard. And
right by the surf shop, bruh.
I'd go there for Little League, man. That was looking Ruffin, right off of Ruffin, is where the one I would go to. Before you hit Kearneyville Road. But anyways, we're not going to talk about good Italian food.
Although I do want to shout out before we get into this.
Sure.
I am drinking Bitter Brothers Family Tart White Peach Berliner Weiss.
Berliner Weiss?
Yeah, so Bitter Brothers is dope. It's right across the street from... It's essentially right, like, maybe the quarter of a block from Costco.
I was going to say, the one I know is right by Costco. Right on Morena.
Yeah, right down the street from my work, actually. And this beer is delicious. I've had it on tap, and it is good. It's better on tap, but still very good in the can. And on it, it says, enjoy with pulled pork sandwich, brie, and apricot Danish, That 70s Show Season 1, or a second cousin once removed.
Jesus. Well, then again, the brewery is called Bitter Brothers, so... Yeah. It's funny though.
I appreciate it for sure. Anyway, we are not a booze podcast, despite my best efforts. So why don't we get into UFC Fight Night 141, Blaydes versus Ngannou 2.
So you will have to help me with pronouncing the second fight on here, but the first fight.
I don't know how much I can help you, bro.
So I'll try. If I recall, this is a flyweight bout between American fighter Louis Smolka, also known as The Last Samurai.
Actually, this is a bantamweight bout.
It's a bantamweight, so thank you.
Because Louis Smolka, Suma, I'm going to go ahead and call him, is a bantamweight, I believe.
So his nickname, the Chinese fighter that Louis Smolka was fighting, is Sulamu, which is how we're going to call him because that's his nickname and that's what nicknames are for. However, if I were to attempt to pronounce his name, it'd be Sumudajiri would be my attempt.
You got one too many G's or J's in that.
How about this? Mujeri.
I would have gone with Muda.
Sumajeri.
I would have gone with either Muda or Suma. Those would have been my go-tos.
Sumajeri. That would just be my pronunciation. Would just be Sumajeri. Sumajeri. No, how about this? Sumo Jerry. A sound of violence.
I'll fuck with Sumo Jerry.
Yep. That you know how we always anoint that one really weird that makes no sense.
The one that we can't pronounce correctly, so we just go 100% the other direction.
Either it's something we can't pronounce in terms of Sumo Jerry, or it's just a slip up, like the time you called Nico Price Nike Pierce, which is legendary.
100%. Man,
I'm down with Sumo Jerry.
Now that we've renamed him Sumo Jerry, I kind of want to pick him, but I don't think I can.
Yeah, I don't think I can either. Because
although Louis Smolka is now sober as of a year, so maybe I should pick against Louis Smolka. You know what I'm saying?
Straight edge Smolka ain't gonna get us so much.
I do like straight edge Smolka as well.
Yeah. All right,
go ahead
and
break this down.
Straight edge Smolka. Last time we saw him. He had a victory over.
That's like motivated BJ Penn, right?
Yeah, or another one is a Sea Level Kane. Another one I saw is Stratosphere Cruise. Something with Dom Cruz. He was talking about like the Stratosphere, some shit, some dumb interview, some YouTube account. I don't fucking know. Or
Florida Mike Perry.
Yeah. I'll tell you a Florida Man article I saw later. I can't say it now because it's very distracting. Anyways, Straight Edge Smolka, last time we saw him, he's returning to the UFC.
Yep. Yeah, he went on a run after getting cut, and that's why, so the reason why he's Straight Edge Smolka now is because he said he was blacking out most nights from drinking during his last run, and then he got sober when he got cut, and has been working his ass off, fought 3 times in 2018, and is making his return.
Yeah, wow, okay.
He looked good, too. His fight against Kyle Estrada, I forget who tweeted it out, but I saw that one on Twitter when it happened. Or you know what? Reddit put up something about it when he made his return. Just smashing this dude from half guard with elbows. Very impressive. And it was in the second. Like, you could tell he's definitely... It seems like, from the little footage I've seen, it seems like he's starting to try to be more top position conscious rather than just accepting guard and working from there.
I will say that one fight he had against Tim Elliott was very fun to watch if you're a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner or enthusiast. Lots of transitions, lots of everything.
Bro. More scrambles than a Denny's, bruh.
Yep, you're goddamn right. So he's on a nice 3-win streak since he's been sober. You know what? If a change in any part of your life that results in winning, fuck yeah, dude, just do it. So Sumo Jerry.
God damn it, Sumo Jerry.
Sorry, it's gonna.
I love you, Sumo Jerry. Yeah. By the way, your game is 0% based on anything that has to do with sumo, but I still love it.
Unless you're skill. So Sumo Jerry, see, this is Skip Bayless's favorite fighter, clearly.
100%. I'm pretty sure he beat up Nate Diaz once. Yeah,
just like the fact that Nate Diaz, according to that guy at fucking Tap House, weighs 215 pounds.
We did hear you say that. What the fuck?
That will always be embedded in my head. That was so disturbing hearing someone say that.
Dude, you and me both were like, oh god, I can't.
I have to go to the bathroom now.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I can't. So he's 22 years old. Sumo Jerry, this is his UFC debut. Yeah. And apologies in advance. Apologies in advance to any Chinese listeners, Mandarin-speaking listeners, Cantonese. I don't know if these are Mandarin traditional Chinese names or Cantonese. I don't know. That just means you're from southern China or Taiwan or Hong Kong. I don't have to get into the fucking basics of it.
Yeah, Dan Tom will do that for you.
If I'm gonna butcher your fucking name, I'm sorry. Just deal with it.
Yeah. Dan Tom will give you all the nuances of which version of
that's what I'll
Chinese
do. I'll go back and listen to his fucking podcast, and I'm like, wow, I was close, or wow, I was way off.
Yeah, so it's actually that's why I have it as my pick for this week, is because number one, Dan Tom's been to China multiple times, and number two, Dan Tom knows a little bit of Mandarin, so. That was most of my research this week, outside of watching footage, was listening to Dan Tom and trying not to fucking, except I could not figure out Sumo Jerry's name, so I'm glad we came up with that. I'm interested in this fight. The thing is Sumo Jerry, ironically enough, is mostly a flashy striker, and he crashes the distance in a way. There's a bunch of fighters actually on this card that do this, and I think it's just a young fighter and a opponent level kind of thing. But especially in amateur MMA, or not amateur MMA, but low regional MMA, like you'll see this a lot in Invicta. Rather than people who you see a Yuan on J-Check, she stays perfectly at range to where every punch is at the end of her reach, so she's snapping right at the end of her reach. And if she steps in for something, she's stepping into the correct range for that to land most efficiently.
Okay.
But with fighters like Sumo Jerry and a couple others, they just fucking walk forward and throw shit. And so it causes the opponent, if the opponent doesn't just back up, which I think is what they're used to, which is why this happens, then they just smash together and everything is kind of short and doesn't quite land right, and is a little it kind of stuffs a lot of the shot. It's like, imagine if you're throwing a kick and someone steps into the kick, a lot of the kick is past the person by the time it's going to land. So there's a little bit of that, and it's definitely the way he crashes the distance, he's not able to keep that range correctly. He'll just kind of smash forward, and Conor Rebush is a good example of explaining this, but I think that could definitely be a problem against Smolka.
So they're kind of almost like glancing blows or glancing punches. It's
not even glancing. It's just you have no momentum behind it because it's only started a quarter second ago.
So basically, you're swinging a baseball bat, but not using your hips to drive your power. Exactly. You're just using your arms.
Imagine if say you were to hit a baseball perfectly with a bat, and then imagine you took 2 steps forward and then swung exactly the same way.
Okay.
To where it's gonna catch the inside, it's gonna catch the inside near your hands, not where you actually want it to connect, kind of thing.
You're just swinging early.
Not just swinging early, but swinging at the improper distance.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
To where it's not landing most effectively. Okay. And there's a lot of that on this card. You see that a bit in Invicta, where people just walk forward and chain punch. And everything is kind of short, and it takes a lot of the snap off of it because they're not at the proper distance. And I think that the problem with that against a dude like Luis Smolka is pretty decent in the clinch game and at trips. Even if he ends up on bottom, I think he's still going to be a fucking problem for Sumo Jerry. So I think this is going to be a fun fight, but I'm definitely leaning towards Luis Smolka, probably via sub early.
I like that, and that's my pick, honestly, going into this with Smolka by sub.
What round do you think?
I'm thinking middle round, 2.
Okay, I think I have him first, but just because I think Sumo Jerry's gonna immediately, ironically enough, basically just walk forward like a sumo fighter, and end up on his back. Or if he's not on his back, he's going to end up directly into directly into a guillotine or something from Smolka.
You want to know what's ironic, Shannon? It's because Sumo Jerry's not even Japanese, but he's still going to sumo him.
Yeah, well, neither was Nate Diaz, apart from his love of nunchucks.
By the way, shouts out to the car alarm. I hope you can't hear that.
I can't at all.
It's very annoying. So
I can't hear it at all, so you're good.
You're very lucky. It's over. Okay.
What are the odds for that
look
one?
Up the odds. The odds. Let's see. Fight odds for Straight Edge Smoko versus Sumo Jerry, according to Bovada, our totally not official sponsor.
That's right. Although, Bovada, if you want to get at me, bro, I could use another $20 to lose in parlays.
Yeah. Same here, please.
Fuck it. I always play dumb parlays. I don't bet MMA because the couple times I do bet a very smart one, like I picked up TJ Dillashaw against Renan Barão.
Didn't you learn your lesson with the Holly Holm Ronda?
See, that's the kind of shit that happens. Is I'm like, well, I should just throw a Ronda in like 3 parlays because obviously she's gonna kill Holly Holm, and then just fucking head kick. Oh god, that was a bad call.
Beautiful work. Chad.
Also, DJ versus Henry. That happened to me very recently, and I'm still very angry about the fact that I think DJ won that.
Yeah, I thought he won too, but it's whatever.
My betting game is not beautiful, champ.
What would you guess the odds are right now?
I'd say Smoko's probably 160, 180.
It's a very good guess. He's a minus 185 to a plus 150 for Sumo Jerry.
Yeah, Smoka's proven. But he also had a rough run towards the end, so I figured it'd be right around there. And it's a bad style matchup.
Oh, yeah, I need to refresh the pick so I can see the correct weight class. I know Tapology usually is pretty right, but I'm looking at our Google Doc picks real quick just so I can make sure this next fight is the correct weight class. I believe this is a middleweight bout.
Yep.
Okay, so one of the more interesting nicknames... we have a Welsh fighter, a Welshman, John Phillips, also known as the White Mike Tyson, going up against Trailblazer Kevin Holland, an American fighter, who in his UFC debut, he fought fucking Thiago Santos, and was a goddamn warrior in defeat.
And was just clowning the entire time.
Yeah.
Kind of what dude does, and
spoiler
I
alert,
love it.
I see big things in Kevin Holland's future. Or
at least fun things. Yeah,
a moderate amount of success, at least. However, the White Mike Tyson, 33-year-old Welshman, John Phillips.
I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and look at his Tapology page. I'm going to give you one guess why he was on Ariel Helwani's show before.
Are you talking about White Tyson?
Yep. If you look at his page on Tapology, and you look close enough, there's a very clear reason why he was on that show.
Oh, he knocked out Charlie Ward, or he got choked up by Jesse Tate? Wait.
Charles Byrd. Wait, he did knock out Charlie Ward. Wow, I would not have expected that because if you scroll further up, go ahead and let me know what Jamie's out of.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course he was on Ariel's show because he's at SBG.
See, I thought, you know what's hilarious? I didn't even look at that. I fucking swear to God. I scrolled past that. I see fellow SBG Charlie Ward and the fact that he knocked him out. That's so fucking hilarious. I didn't even realize that. But then again, that was 3 years ago. 3.5 years. Yeah, okay, yeah. Never mind.
Also, he is out of Wales, who I'm a big fan of Wales. Wales is dope. Speaking of Zane Lamprey, which we did earlier, go check out Zane Lamprey's 3 Sheets episode of Mumbles Wales.
So
where he does the Mumbles Mile. It's great.
So off the top of your head, who are the Welsh fighters that you know of in the UFC?
Him and Brett Johns.
And?
Some other dude who's white.
Which current white fighter who loves to stand and bang has one of the best chins in his division? And he took an absolute beating from... Oh, fuck, what was his name, though? God damn it, no, he was a pro kickboxer. Anyways, it's Jack Marshman.
I was forgetting about Jack Marshman.
He's a Welshman who has a hell of a chin.
Yeah, he's fun.
So does Brett Johns. If this Welshman is like those two, he has a hell of a chin, too.
He also has 0 wrestling.
Yeah.
That fucking Charles Byrd fight was a goddamn domination. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Kevin Holland, does he have wrestling? Yes.
No, but he has very good ground game, and he
has grappling.
Kick head. Yeah, he's a super slick BJJ game, especially with subs, and he throws a lot of kicks. So
I'll just say this: I am going towards Kevin Holland because of how he debuted, short notice. Against Tux, no disrespect to,
and looked good in moments in that fight. He got him in a couple deep guillotines and stuff.
How about this? Can we pray? We know that a lot of Welshmen mumble, or kind of. Sounds like they have marbles in their mouth. No disrespect to Wales. I'm sure there's very clear speaking Welshmen.
There is literally a city in Wales called Mumbles.
I just pray.
But it's named after titties. So.
If John Phillips wins, or just in the run-up to this fight, if he has any sort of interview, I fucking absolutely hope that he sounds something like Mike Tyson or has some sort of lisp. Please, dear God. This would be
no, I think the reason why they call him Mike Tyson, the white Mike Tyson, is because he was just killing dudes with the left hand.
And there you go.
His early days, like he's a straight up brawler, but he has ended a couple fights with a nasty left hand. There's one where a dude is leaning back to fade his shot, and he still catches him on the very end of the lean. So dude just goes down very hard.
Oh shit!
But he doesn't have a ton of experience, and he got dominated on the ground against what's his face, Charles Byrd.
He's probably like, I'm a fucking boxer.
Well, Charles Byrd was within 20 seconds of that fight. Charles Byrd had him full mounted and grapevined, and was just
dude, I think I might
fucking
have seen
him
a
up.
highlight of that.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
So, speaking of odds, since we both have Holland, and I have Holland by. You know what? I don't have him by knockout. I do have him by sub. I'm going to go round 1 because, well, I'll ask you. How is Charles Byrd's BJJ compared to maybe a Holland, who I know Holland, they probably haven't seen too much deep study because he's still kind of...
So, I have Holland by sub in the first, so...
Okay. Yeah, I'm agreed. I agree with you 100%. So, can you guess, or, because this is fun, clearly,
sure,
I'll just
the
tell you
odds
right
on
now,
that?
Holland is clearly favored. So, what is your guess?
280 or so.
Try a minus 600.
Whoa, that's too big.
Yeah.
I agree he's going to win. What's the odds on him on it? Does it have prop bets for a sub? It'll be like the plus button on the far right.
Yeah, let me see.
Or the drop down button.
You said sub, right?
Yeah, is that up yet?
Yeah, let me see. What? How? Oh, Bovada's is not up. No.
Is anybody's though?
Yeah, someone has him Holland by sub plus 155.
They have KO higher.
KO,
or decision.
TKO finish is 215 for Holland. Plus 215. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's about, I mean, even money on a sub is probably about fair.
Here you go. Phillips, your boy White Tyson by submission plus 1800.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
No.
I'll give you the if
You'll
he
eat a
loses
hat.
this. I'll give you the password to this goddamn podcast if he loses this fight. It's fucking never gonna.
If he gets
via sub, yeah, it'll never fucking happen. I'll bet my goddamn dog's life on it. The one I don't like, just to be safe, but
Tilly. What? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. How'd you guess?
So now we got that out of the way.
That's right.
We have
we're done shitting on tiny little white chihuahuas that are annoying.
We have a fighter between a Chinese and a Japanese fighder.
Which,
Good
by the way,
inter-Asian rivalry.
Yeah, Dan Tom talks about how that's still kind of a fucking thing out in China and Japan. Like especially in China.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I was going to go political, but I'm not. Sorry, I'm going to steer away.
It's just people forget how fucked up the whole China-Japan thing was.
How about how fucked up China is? Excuse me. Sorry, Chinese hackers who are listening right now.
How about how fucked up Japan was to the rest of Asia during the fucking Second World War?
War crimes of the past.
For sure. I mean, there's only a couple countries that have a historical event that the first word in the event is the rape of, or the first words is the rape of.
Yeah, people also forget that Japan bombed the fuck out of Australia in World War II.
Oh,
that was a real thing.
They just bombed everybody to test out nuclear weapons.
So now that we're shitting on countries in the past, can we talk about how now China is literally fucking 1984ing, big brothering every citizen with their social statusing? That is scary. Extremely... never mind. I'm not going to even go there. Sorry, we're talking about fights, guys, not politics. Anyways.
If you can't get on Twitter, your country's fucking sketch, bro.
Yeah. Anyways, folks. Chao Nan-yan. This is a strawweight fight. Yes. Chao Nan-yan, a.k.a. Nine.
Sure, I like that name.
I'm just going to call her Nine. Just call her Nine, yeah. Nine is going up against Japanese fighter Yuri Kondo. Excuse me. Yep. Nine has a professional record of 9-1. Yuri Kondo has a professional record of 6-1. Last time we saw Nine, if we did see her, I know we did because I recognize that name. Yep. She's 29 years old, 5'5". She won unanimous decision to Vivian Pereira.
Yeah, who just fought in Invicta last weekend.
That's right. The UFC fight at 132 last June 23rd of this year. Before that, she defeated Kaylin Curran. Or is it Curran? I think it's Curran. I don't know. Curran. Yep. She won via unanimous decision over that. And, oh shit, she had no contest in Road FC 34 via cut from clashing of heads, headbutt.
I love Road. Have you ever seen Road FC? That's the South Korean promotion.
I've heard of it. I don't believe
They're on Fight Pass. They're dope, or at least they were. I don't think they are anymore.
You know what that reminds
me of? But they're dope.
Does UFC still have what is it? ESN with like the Eurasian the Russians?
What you're thinking of. Yeah. But it's now called FNG, and but DAZN does, I believe.
Is that one guy totally unexpectable still around?
He shows up every once in a while.
Fuck, dude, I gotta see a card.
It's like the very like small cards that he'll show up randomly.
Because you know what reminded me of that? I was playing a Stranger Mission in Red Dead, in the new Red Dead, where you meet this guy who's basically Rockstar's version of Nikolai Tesla. He's a Serbian guy named Marko Dragic, and he goes, "Oh, totally fantastical," and I was just laughing my ass off.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit, is he watching a Fabio Mama Babo fight?
Like, they're like, oh, this is like Roman Bell, like, hey, cousin, let's go bowling with us.
Yeah. Hey, cousin.
Anyway. It's a Roman new science. So, yeah, 9 is on a good little streak, but then again, so is Suri. No, Yuri Kondo was undefeated. Okay. And she just lost against Pollyanna Marijuana.
Yep.
Just this past May via body kick and punches.
That was the one where she got fucking smashed with 2 switch body kicks in a row and put down in like the first minute.
Oh, dude, that was bad.
It was a nap.
Bad for her.
She just caught her right on the liver twice in a row, and good fucking luck, bro.
Yeah, I'm leaning 9, Chao Nan-yan. Mainly off strength of schedule or who she's fought. I'm
just now noticing. Oh, never mind. It's one up. Weird. Wikipedia has this in a different order. Anyway, yeah. I'm leaning Yan as well. What method are you leaning?
I like decision.
I like that pick. I am probably... Yeah, I think I'm going to go the same way. I do think that she will pick her apart on the feet, mostly because Yana has some sharp orthodox boxing. She's pretty light on her feet. She pot-shotted the shit out of Viviane Pereira for 3 rounds. She did slow down a little bit later on, but she did a really good job hand-trapping, and she did eat the overhand right, but she rolled with it very well. Whereas Kondo is a super low-volume orthodox boxer from what I've seen, and I just have trouble. She has trouble keeping her range, like we talked about earlier, where you just smash forward and you end up in the clinch even though you don't want to be there kind of thing.
Yeah.
She is okay in the clinch, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Jan's going to piece her apart over 3 rounds and land the straighter, sharper punches.
And so the odds, what would you guess the odds are in this fight?
This one's a little weird. I'm going to say Jan is probably a favorite, but not by much, like 130.
This will surprise you just like the last one. Yan is a minus 400.
That's crazy.
Yeah, to a plus 300 Suri Kondo.
Like, Suri Kondo does have low volume output, which might be why, but man, I would be nowhere near that kind of confident.
Yeah, it's... I really don't have much to say about that. It's kind of odd to me, but those are the odds, so fuck it.
I mean, to be fair, I guess we are both leaning that way, so it means something, but it seems like a lot of these fights are made with a certain person in mind, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if it's like a home field advantage thing because it's in China and they're thinking of the judges, but...
The UFC likes to do that, and it's the UFC's judges. So, I don't even think you have to get the judges involved, though. Like, Contender Series style, you just essentially fucking set up a bunch of mismatches and hope for finishes.
So, next up, we have a... What is this? Bantamweight bout between Chinese fighter Pyongyang Liu. That's how I'm going to pronounce that.
I think you nailed that.
Pyongyang Liu is going up against an American fighter, the Spartan Martin Day. Pyongyang Liu, or I'll just say Liu, has a professional record.
Oh, his nickname makes sense now. Martin the Spartan.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until you said it out loud.
That's pretty funny. Liu has a professional record of 14-4. Last time we saw him, if we did see him, yes we did.
Yep,
He was at UFC fighting at 134, and he won unanimously over David Stasiak. Excuse me. And then Martin Day, the American fighter, last time we saw him, if we did see him in the UFC, that is. Yes, we did. Oh, no, we didn't. This is his UFC debut. Okay, this is a big fight.
Kind of. He was on Contender Series back in the day, but lost.
Oh, to Jamie Alvarez. Remember that dude was on Tough 24, the flyweight one, with like Mighty Mouse and Cejudo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he also has some fights with Tachi and
not Cejudo. Wait. Who did Mighty Mouse square up against?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Tim Elliott.
No, wait. No, it was Benavidez and Cejudo. They were the coaches. That's right. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, because Benavidez says he used to fuck guys like Cejudo in high school. That's right. Okay.
Right. Which, oh boy.
Yeah. Going full Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that that's in everyone's mind, Liu. This guy looks like a knockout artist, but he's also got some inverted triangle guillotine jokes.
Yeah.
Martin Day.
Pyongyang he's a wild ass brawler. Is what the fuck he is. That dude is just he's orthodox brawler essentially, just hella pressure and just wild overhands and shit. But he is pretty strong in the clinch. Martin Day mostly plays an orthodox kick-heavy karate-style game.
Okay.
Stays on the outside a lot. He did eat a shitload of leg kicks, though, as a result of that on the Contender Series. And he got out-grappled to hell by Alvarez. So, But I don't think Pyongyang is going to... Pyongyang Liu is going to try and initiate many grappling exchanges. Even though he is pretty good in the clinch, I don't think he'll use it at all. I think it's all going to take place on the feet. Maybe, you know what? Actually, that's not true. Cage, I think probably how I see it going is Liu ends up getting a close decision by just outworking him and outlanding a bit, and then mostly outgrappling him on the cage.
I was going to say, but
I don't think it's going to go to the mat.
My official pick was decision for Liu. Not saying because he's in China, but I think the judges will be swayed by that because the UFC does want to cater to the Chinese market. This is what... Isn't this only like the second or third fight ever in China?
They've done a couple, and also
that's probably not true.
The judges are all from the States too, but still.
I know they've had a fight in Beijing last year with Bisping and Gastelum. I think they've had a fight in Macau, which is in Taiwan.
They've definitely done. Yeah, that was the Macau is China, isn't it?
Well, it's China. It's China, and then it's Taiwan. You know what I mean? Because remember, Taiwan's
like how
not
Hong
an
Kong
independent country.
Is. Yeah.
Same with Hong Kong. It's China rules everything, dude. It's
China adjacent.
Yeah.
Because that was the what's his fucking name? Kung Lee fight.
Yeah, Macau. Yeah, Kung Lee was on that.
Kung Lee, Mike Bisping, maybe?
Yeah, Michael Bisping knocked him the fuck out.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, that was a really bad knockout. Good for Michael Bisping, but not for Kung Lee.
For real. What do the odds look like?
Which is ironic because I think Kung Lee is Vietnamese, actually, but whatever.
Yeah, I believe so.
Anyways.
No, he's Chinese. He's Chinese.
Oh, he is Chinese. Okay, see, now I'm the asshole. Anyways.
I'm pretty sure he's Chinese. I'm like 90%. Nope, Vietnamese. I'm a racist.
Whatever, dude. I'm kidding. Now I sound ignorant. Whatever. You know what? I said it again. Fuck it. I'm totally straying away from this. Anyways, the odds on this.
Also, it's Rich Franklin, not Michael Bisping. Oh, no, wait. It was both of them.
Well, he's been knocked out quite a bit. So the odds on this are closer than you think. So what would you guess?
Closer than I would think.
Not than you think. I guess it's what you would expect. So what's your initial guess? And you'll probably be right.
I don't know, like 140 for Lou.
Yeah, minus 190 for Lou, plus 155 for Dick.
Okay, that's a little wider than I would have expected. I actually like Martin Day in parts of this. I just think he's not. I just think he's gonna get outworked.
So next up we have.
But these are the kind of cards though that could just have weird fucking finishes on it. Like it's kind of
could like turn out to be a banger of a card too.
Yeah, well, and the Argentina one, there were some moments in that card for sure. We didn't get into it, but there was some some shit went down on that card. There were some fun fights, but the timing and stuff definitely doesn't help a lot of these.
So, next up we have a women's strawweight bout between Mexican fighter Jessica Aguilar, a.k.a. Jag, professional record of 20-6, going against Chinese fighter Weili Zhang, a.k.a. Magnum. It's with a record of 17-1. Last time we saw Jessica Aguilar, she had a victory over Jodie Escobar, which I think was
close fight.
Was it close or?
Yeah, I mean she won, but it was close.
Okay, she just closely won every round.
Right. It was competitive, I should say.
For that, she had 2 losses in a row to Courtney Casey, and before that, Claudia Gadelha. No shame in that loss. Goddamn. I think that's when Aguilar was from WSOF or PFL, Pizza Fun League, something like that.
Yep. Back when before that, before that she was in WSOF.
And she beat Kalinda Faria, who's in Invicta, right? Yeah. No, she's in the UFC still.
Kalinda Faria's at the UFC, yeah.
Okay, excuse me.
Megumi Fuji is Megumi Fuji in Invicta, or did she go back to Ryzen?
Oh, I know who I'm picking in this fight. Oh, I remember.
Who the fuck is VTJ? Man, I mix up so many people.
Dude, this Zhang chick, Weili Zhang, yeah, she kind of styled on Danielle Taylor, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I'm picking her.
She definitely pot-shotted her way through that fight for sure.
Yeah, I remember because she was kind of hyped. Is she still undefeated or no? She has one. Oh, she's just on a crazy fucking streak. Yeah, that's why. I think that's why. I think you picked her against Taylor too, because I kind of convinced you, or we both were just on that. Like, look at all the winning streak, look at all the belts in
and
her
that
picture.
Was a close. Actually, I might have taken Taylor in that, but that was a pretty close one though.
Oh, shit.
Where like she won the shit out of the first round, but Daniel Taylor started like it looked a lot pretty similar to.
She kind of dip in with like those lower level chains, transition like overhands that she does.
Yeah, it's all overhands that she ate. Yeah, it's 100% how that went. I mean, it was always going to be because it's Danielle Taylor. It's like saying, "Oh, did John Dodson throw a giant overhand?" Like, yes, of course, that's the one thing he does.
John Dodson, aka a fighter who thinks he's more exciting than he is.
I really like John Dodson.
I like it.
He is very exciting, but I wish he would use both of his hands in fights.
Yeah.
Or throw a jab every once in a while. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. I'm leaning in this fight towards Zhang in like a close decision.
Same. Volume and pressure. She has a heavy top game. She's good in the clinch. She has like a ortho Muay Thai game. Jag is very good like on the inside that's how she mostly won that fight against Jodie Escobar, was in the clinch and just banging her with knees to the body and head and just kind of keeping that pressure on. But I don't think that that's how this fight's going to play out at all. I think it's probably going to be a range striking with like some clinch exchanges. I don't think she's going to be able to muscle around Weili Zhang like she did Jodie Esquibel because of the size difference.
Yeah, I could see that happening as well. So yeah, I said decision, right?
Yep, same.
Oh fuck! Hold on, I accidentally backed out of. God damn it!
I don't have it pulled up, or else I would say.
Oh no, let me pull it up. I got it. I was saying I backed out of fight odds.
Yeah, I got you.
I got it though right here. Excuse me. Wow. So the odds. Wow! Holy fuck! This you're gonna get
too wide again.
You're gonna get mad at this. Not mad, but you're gonna be like, wow. So take a guess. So
well,
who would
based on your reaction, well, actually, now that you said that, Jag is the favorite. I'm guessing.
No, not at all.
Okay, so Weili Zhang is the favorite by like 230 or something, way too big.
Yeah, minus 650.
What the
Zhang
fuck?
To a plus 425 Jag.
I would put Jag in a parlay with somebody else.
Damn.
That is way too, like, that's
What
the kind of
the
thing where
fuck?
I would put in like a three part underdog parlay for $1 and be like, yo,
Yeah,
man,
no,
come
that's
out of this.
not
Like,
a bad call.
Maybe I'll come out of this with a 6-pack or whatever.
What the
Yeah.
fuck? I saw that and I had to
That's
just
crazy.
like, what the fuck?
That's gonna be I think that'll be a competitive fight, and I would not be surprised if Jag just scrambled out a decision. Wait, you said you have Jag for a decision?
No, Zhang.
Zhang. Okay, making sure I wrote it down wrong. Yeah, no, while I do believe Zhang is gonna win that, I am not at all that confident. Like, not even a little. I'm way more confident in Yan Chonan over Siri Kondo. Also, I just butchered the shit out of her name.
So where are we at? We have a.
I think we're
heavyweight
to
bout.
light heavyweight.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, catch weight.
Or wait. So what's going on?
Because
with
Rashad
this?
Coulter blew weight by 3 pounds.
Wait.
Because he's moving down from heavyweight.
Oh, I was gonna say, how do you blow heavyweight? But all right.
Blue light heavy.
Yeah. No. That's what I was thinking. I thought, like you said, he blew heavyweight. I was like, whoa, like he's 300 pounds.
No. Roy Nelson's wife, she blew heavyweight. You know what I'm saying?
Heard. So Rashad Coulter, the Daywalker, who has one of the worst tattoos ever, according to you and me, right? That.
Also, I meant she was blowing Roy Nelson, not that she was fat. I want to make that clear.
Oh no,
Please,
I
Nelson,
knew that.
don't
That's
attack
why
me.
you heard me. That's why I went heard, meaning understood. Like I said it all the time.
Yeah. No, I just realized that can be taken 2 ways, and I'm not trying to call it.
I thought that's why you said that. I thought it was
I just wanted to clarify. I sat here thinking about it. I was like, wait, that came out. Like it came out like I wanted, but also
You didn't say she blew a heavyweight, so you're okay there. But still,
that would have been better because he is a heavyweight, and she's not a large lady.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
So, he's
so
a big boy.
Rashad Coulter, the American, the Daywalker, record of 8-4, is going up against Chinese fighter. Excuse my butchering of your name, Yao Zhang Hu.
Sure.
Wait,
who?
Let's just Wait, who? Who, me? We're just gonna call him Bad Boy. How about that? Because that's what his name is.
Bad boy who?
Bad boys. What you gonna who? That's the end of my shitty fucking joke. Now I'm gonna kill myself. All right.
Solid. That's a solid song you just came up with.
Just ad-libbing like a motherfucker.
To be fair, anything other than talk about this fight is okay with me because, good God, is this going to be ugly as shit.
Maybe that's why I said kill myself. God damn it.
This fight's going to be rough as fuck. If this doesn't end in the first round, this is where I go to sleep.
So can I just give my pick now?
Sure.
I'm going with who? My knockout. I don't know why. No, there's just no logic in this. I don't give a fuck. I'm so sorry.
To be fair, I have similar feelings about this fight. I think it's gonna be Coulter by decision, which is why I'm very not excited about it because I don't.
Wait, you said decision? God damn it! That means who will probably win it by decision because they're in China and it's just so.
I mean, possible, but also
Wait, how many
there's
knockouts?
no
Does
reason.
this guy have any knockout wins?
Yeah, I think they're all knockout wins.
2, but still.
Oh, you mean Coulter?
No, who?
Who has 3 knockout wins? Or no, 2 and a 7.
2. Who? Who does?
Yeah, exactly.
Bad boy.
All right, fucking Abbott and Costello over here.
Yeah. Bruce Buffer or Rick Martinez are going to be like, and the winner, who?
Yep. 100% what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm taking Coulter by decision, but only because who gassed so fucking bad after the first minute of his last fight.
I'm just going to go who? Flash KO round 2. One of the worst picks I've ever done.
Round 2? You think it's going to be the second?
Yep.
Oh, man. My pick, I was either going to go Coulter by decision or who by sub in the first, because he does have a decent guillotine, and Coulter will stick his face directly into a guillotine. But I think who's going to gas from that and then lose a very slow decision. So.
You can tell how composed we are when trying to seriously decide, use our brains on this fight. So apologies to everyone. If you thought we just had a brain aneurysm, we kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we are recording this as of right now, 2 hours before the card starts.
So do you want to know the sweet...
There's no way you hear this before it happens.
Do you want to know the sweet irony of this whole betting odds? So, the last 2 fights have been totally fucked as far as the betting odds, right? The minus 650 on Zane.
Oh, yeah, why do you mean?
Here's the irony. Guess the odds.
I have no idea. Fight. I literally, they're dead even, I guess, because everyone's going to lose.
Who is a minus 120 to a minus 110 Coulter? So it's dead fucking even.
I mean, it should be. There's no reason to favor one dude over the other in this fight.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that Rashad Coulter has fought more, but I'm not sure.
So you might ask, hey, Chris, who is the favorite? And I'm like, you're right. And then you'd be more confused.
Well, actually, you could say you're wrong also. No one's the favorite.
That is true.
Including the audience.
So, we just went from who...
Rashad Coulter's tattoo artist is the favorite.
Yes. So, here... Never mind. God, I was going to say...
No, I get it. You're going to go from Hugh to Woo to Mew.
No. I was going to say, who on this card is a racist stereotype? Well, according to her nickname... It's Wu, a.k.a. Mulan. Yeah, Yanan Wu.
I almost just did a fucking Pocahontas reference on accident because I couldn't remember Mulan's song. I was like, oh, yeah, fucking Yanan, just beyond the river bend Wu. I was like, wait, no, that's fucking Pocahontas.
So like, let's get down to business.
Yeah. Yanan, be a man Wu. That's not better. You must be quick cast up. Okay, anyway. To be fair, they both have very Asian nicknames.
They do. Wu, I'm not going to call her Mulan.
Let's just say it's Mulan versus Princess Tiger.
I will not stoop that fucking level.
Can we just make this a straight up Tekken match of Mulan versus Princess Tiger?
All right, you know what? Let's do that. Mulan,
a
record of 8-2.
Smash Brothers matchup.
Yeah, the Chinese fighter is only 22, and Mulan is going up against American fighter Lauren Mueller.
Yep.
Lauren Mueller, Princess Tiger, 5-0. She's fighting here in San Diego, California, out of Alliance.
Is she out of Alliance?
She did. She very well is because I
she
see
moved
her.
There, right?
I see her in a lot of pictures
Angie,
from Jessica Penne and Angie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren Mueller, San Diego fighter, Alliance.
Guess who we're gonna pick?
Yeah. So the spoiler alert: it's definitely the Princess Tiger. However, let's see if Mulan has a chance. Mulan, last time she fought, was in UFC Fight Night 122. She lost unanimously to Gina Mazzani. This was a year ago. Okay, so she hasn't fought in a year. Oh, but she had a canceled bout against Shayna Dobson. Lauren Mueller, the Princess Tiger, her last fight was against Shayna Dobson, whom she beat in April unanimously.
Yep.
Like a lot of Alliance fighters, unfortunately, just kidding. I was going to throw Shannon Dom Cruz, who we love. She is a decisionator so far.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she has a knee injury.
No, I was going to say she's a decisionator, at least so far. But then again, that doesn't make sense because it's women's strawweight, and there aren't really a lot of finishes at women's strawweight. So it's not...
Well, and she's had some moments in those fights where she was doing good. Like, she head kicked the shit out of homegirl in Contender Series, Kelly McGill Velasco. She head kicked the shit out of her. The girl leaned right into it. It was nasty.
That's right. So yeah, I got her by decision.
Yeah,
Princess
me too.
Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren Mueller.
I think if she gets top position and like is able to just throw elbows, I think she can maybe get a finish. But yeah, I think she's going to end up outworking her from the outside and just outlanding and getting 30, 27, 29, 28. So something like that.
Go ahead, Chris. Guess.
Also, shouts out to her head movement, which has gotten much better since she went to Alliance.
I do remember seeing her last fight. That was very impressive.
Like, especially against someone like Shayna Dobson, who throws fucking heaters, and even though she didn't slip everything, and she like still got clipped with some stuff, you could tell she's clearly working on her head movement a lot.
Yep. So, what would you guess, Chris, the odds are?
It's got to be Mueller pretty wide here, like 3 something. 2, high 2s, low 3s.
Minus 400 to a plus 300 woo.
Okay. A little wide, but yeah, I see her as a pretty clear favorite in that.
So, this next fight is...
I have no idea who to pick in this one.
Neither do I.
I kind of hate both of their styles.
This is a welterweight bout between the Song fighter that we're not as excited about, no disrespect to Keenan Song.
I'm not excited about either one of them, to be fair.
I am excited about Yadong, though, dude. That guy's at Team Alpha.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah.
The other Song.
I thought you meant out of these 2 fighters.
No, I'm talking about the other Song on the card, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm
Yadong,
always... Dude, hard not to...
Yeah.
Yadong always gets me excited. You know what I'm saying?
Yadong is always aroused at an opportunity to fight, so...
I'm always aroused at an opportunity to watch Yadong fight.
Same with me, man. Likewise. I'm never mind. So he's going up against Alex Morono.
Glad you stopped there.
Alex Morono, the Great White, the Great White American. That's what his nickname should be. But then again, his picture...
All right,
Jesus Christ, dude. Look at his fucking picture. It doesn't really instill confidence. He just, take the fucking photo, you motherfucker, is what he's saying.
But also, he cannot be called the Great White American, considering how bald he was in his last 2 fights.
Wait, does he actually have, like, a shaved head?
Yeah. That's why he cannot be called the Great White American.
Oh, and he's from Spring, Texas.
Exactly.
Or, excuse me, that's too sudden. He's from Spring, Texas. Keenan Song, the assassin, his photo looking like he's on a cover of a fight magazine or fitness magazine. I don't know, because I can't read Mandarin. Anyways, that's not what's important. He's 28 years old. He's 14-4. Last time we saw Keenan Song, and I know it's not Keenan. I really know it's not. It's like Kanan or Ganong. It's something not Keenan. I'm not going to butcher the name.
I think it's Kanan.
Oh, dude, he knocked the fuck out of Hector Aldana. That fight was a banger.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And then he also knocked out Bobby Nash. Okay. Alex Morono, the Great White Texan, lost to Jordan Mean unanimously this past July.
Where he got wrestle-fucked.
He choked out Josh Bergman. Then he lost decision to Kita Nakamura. You know what? I think I'm leaning towards Kanan Song, dude.
Decision?
Yeah.
Or do you see him finishing it?
No, you know what? I think it's going to be one of those, it's going to be one of those cards. You know how the hometown guy always has a cool fucking finish? This will be it. Like, Keenan Song just knocks this dude the fuck out and everyone goes wild.
Do you have a round?
I got round 3. It's going to be competitive and it's just like, oh, and he just fucking clips him, like, behind the ear.
I hope you're right. That'd be dope.
The kid gets the kid. That's my pick, man. Why not? That's just good. Like we try to, we do our best to bring in tape study, style matchups and all that, but then there's just one of those picks you just gotta go, you know what? This is gonna happen, and when I try to logically explain it, sometimes you just gotta go with it. And this is that one fight on the card for me, at least as of now.
Fair enough. I'm going to take Morono by decision because I don't know who's going to win this fight. And I think the odds are it's going to be Morono by decision. I think it's probably going to look a lot like Morono versus Kita Nakamura. Keenan has a pretty slick lead left leg, kicks off his lead leg. He's pretty slick with them. He's pretty quick. And Morono looked real bad in the fight against me in the takedown defense department, but I just have a feeling this is going to take place at range, like on the outside, and I think Morono's just going to barely outland him. But I have zero confidence in this at all.
Okay. The odds as... What do you think?
I would...
Who's the favorite? And then I'll just tell you the odds. What's
Song, I guess?
No, the slight favorite.
Really?
Well, actually, wait. Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Excuse me, I read that totally wrong. So, yeah, Song is slight favorite at minus 125 to a minus 105 Morono. Excuse me. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, it's... that's
pretty goddamn even.
It's pretty close. I think it's going to decision. I think it's going to be a close one,
So, next up,
we're finally to the main card. Yeah. Holy shit. This only starts at 3:30 in the morning tonight.
This fight I'm very excited for.
5 hours from now, this fight is happening.
This fight has been the butt of every joke on a lot of podcasts. Because Song, Yadong, whatever you call them. Or if you like
So actually, according to Wikipedia, I think this is Jangling.
Oh, wait. Let's double check. You're right. Excuse me. Let me backpedal real quick. We're not ready. We're not ready for Yadong. Clearly,
no.
We're ready for
we have
Jangling.
to prepare.
Yeah, we gotta prepare for Yadong.
Yeah. Give me a moment. Let me go wash up before we get to Yadong.
Yeah. So, instead... We got the Leech, hopefully, which doesn't go anywhere near Yadong, going up against David Zawada, the German fighter, also known as Sagat. Zhang Lang, or also really known as Zhongling Li, his professional record of 15-5. This is a welterweight bout. He's 30 years old, and last time we saw him, he won a unanimous decision victory over Japanese fighter Daichi Abe. Before that, he lost unanimously to Australian fighter Jake Matthews. I think that was the fight where he gouged his eye. Something like that. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's really bad. Before that, he had victories over Zach Otto and President Camacho. David Zawada, the German fighter, 16-4, 28-year-old. Last time we saw him, he lost a close decision to Danny Roberts, the Englishman. Before that, he was fighting out of Polish promotion, KSW. He defeated, I'm going to say these wrong, Michał Michalski, or it's definitely Michał, not Michael Michalski. It's Michał Michalski.
Michael Michalski.
Sounds like something G6 would say if he was drunk. Michael Michalski.
Go ahead and try not to say the upsetting version of this next name.
Maciej Jusatsko?
Sure.
Jututsko?
Yeah, you didn't pronounce the J-E-W in that.
Excuse me, it's not Jew because it's Polish, so it's Jevsusko.
Something like that.
Remember, the W's are V's, that's right. Just like Volkswagen. Anyways...
Or the Javusko, maybe?
Oh, it was like that one guy, the Jewski, but it's Sajewski. That's right, because he's Polish.
Sure. Anyway, so we got the Leech versus Zawada.
Jangling!
Yeah, as Crooklyn would say, Jangling. Which way are you leaning in this?
I'm leaning Jangling. He's got really solid stand-up. And I haven't seen much of Zawada, to be honest, to have a confident take.
Zawada... So I watched this fight in Bellator, and he looks good. He mostly has a straight up... Wait, he was the one... No, wait, he was the one in KSW. I'm mixing him up with fucking Morales. Zawada's look good in his fight against Danny Roberts. it was definitely competitive. The problem he had mostly was Danny Roberts was able to just outwork him. And I'm leaning that Jangling is going to be able to do the same thing, both just with blending the striking and grappling, as well as just keeping the pressure on and throwing heaters the whole time. So I'm going to lean Jangling, but man, am I not confident. I'm going to go decision, but boy.
Yeah, I'm going Jangling decision as well.
Cool. What are the odds looking like on that?
So, the odds. What are the odds?
I know Jangling's a favorite for sure.
He is. He is a minus 205 favorite to a plus 165 David Zawada.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that too. Alright, now that we basically warmed up before one of our favorite fights, we warmed up for you, dog. Here we are.
That's right. Stretch it out. Get ready for your dong.
You know, it's ready. It's a little warmed up. We got a little half joke going.
We've done all the dick jokes. Let's keep it moving.
If you know, and some people call you Dong the Terminator if they're feeling extra confident, because that's this dude's nickname. Not even kidding, which is kind of funny, but also kind of weird. Song, the Terminator song, 13-4. This Chinese fighter. Holy fuck, he's only 20 years old. That's right. That's insane. So this guy has a lot of potential. He also trains at a fucking Team Alpha Male, which is a good camp as far as sparring partners, not a good camp as far as who is their head coach.
I mean, depends on what week you ask.
That's a very smart answer. And it also depends who is selling peanut butter is who you want to go with, probably. He's going up against American fighter Vince Morales, and his nickname is Vendetta. Did he not know that it's Vendetta, or is he just trying to... I don't know. Fuck.
I've been trying to figure out why it's Vendetta. Unless he drives a van, I have no...
His fucking picture has a picture of himself, and it says Invincible, but like with his name. I get that.
Yeah, it's a bad t-shirt.
So why would he not just have his nickname be Vendetta?
Or Invincible.
Whatever. This is confusing. My head hurts.
No, that's great.
He's from Bellator. Noted. It checks out.
No, well, Contender Series in Bellator.
Oh, yeah.
But his last fight in Bellator was actually, he looked very good. Sharp boxer. Definitely throws a lot of straight punches, and he has a really good sense of distance, where, like we talked about earlier, some of the fighters on this card are very bad at like just crashing into their opponent rather than keeping range. He's very good at staying exactly, like the Diaz brothers are great examples of this, where they're able to they step in just half steps right into your range and you land, and then they step just barely out. And he does a very good job of that, especially in his last fight. He did eat some heavy leg kicks, though. And he mostly works in orthodox pressure boxer game. Kind of similar to the Diaz brothers, but orthodox, obviously. Although I guess Nick kind of goes back and forth. Yadong is just a goddamn beast, though.
Dude, this dude's power. Like, wow.
Yeah. All power and all pressure. Like, dude.
Like, do you think someone like
and his ground and pound is
feels
dope.
Like pressured by him, or do you think it's because the age gap is so large it doesn't matter?
I don't know what to think about Cody Garbrandt anymore right now, honestly.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you say that, I almost felt like if they weren't killing off the division, he should go down to flyweight. He would murder that, like, half that division.
I think he would have done a lot better. Flyweight,
no, he would.
Or... Because he's pretty small for 25.
He's small, dude. He says he walks around like 142.
Or for 35.
He's a skinny guy. Like he's he's muscular in like an athletic way, you know. But he's 5'7", 5'8". He's 5'8", you know. But he's got a skinny frame. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. Fuck. Why are they closing flyweight, dude? He probably could have been potentially champion because, like, sure his chin isn't great.
So what about this? Cody Garbrandt versus DJ at one championship.
I actually would. Honestly, I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight.
I don't think the UFC would fight that hard to keep him, bro. Honestly, at this point.
Realistically, now we're on that.
I don't think he would ever do it, though.
Can we brainstorm real quick? Because let's be honest, we don't know when that dude's fighting again. Who should Cody Garbrandt really fight next? Because, like, people know his chin
Jimmy
is
Rivera?
not good. But this is the thing. It's like Russian roulette. Your chin sucks, but your hands are fucking grenades.
It should be Jimmy Rivera.
Yeah.
That's the fight. They're both coming off a knockout loss. They both, like, one hits really hard.
Well, Rivera recently won a decision over someone. Oh, it was fucking John Dodson.
Right.
This shit, fuck that fight.
Oh, right.
God damn it.
Well, actually, if he just beat John Dodson.
And Jimmy Rivera's already verbally agreed to fight Rafael Sunsao. God damn it, dude.
That's right. That's right.
So, you know what?
Cody Garbrandt and Rafael Sunsao would have been
No.
too.
He should have been
Aljo
fighting.
Cody?
He should have been fighting John Lineker. Two bangers.
That's a fight.
Yeah.
Wait, if Dom Cruz dominates John Lineker, then you do John.
No, I'll just say this: if Dom Cruz absolutely shits on Lineker, they give him the title shot because they want that.
No, I know, and then
rematch.
you do Lineker versus Cody.
Yeah, do that. Fuck yeah, do it. But if not that, what was the guy you just said? Aljo. Let's do it.
Aljo.
Yeah, I like it.
It's not a bad one.
I like
They
it.
put Aljo back in the map.
I like
and
it.
like honestly, I think his wrestling would not be difficult for Cody, but it's a bad matchup for both of them. I think
His BJJ is probably better than Cody's BJJ, 100%.
Way better, and his wrestling is probably better than Cody's wrestling. The thing is I don't like the power of Cody could be a fucking problem.
Dude, that's the thing. Cody could sleep anyone.
The power and pressure,
Yeah.
but then again, Aljo's kicks, and ability to keep shit at range, I think could be a very interesting fight. I think that's the one to make. Anyway,
sorry,
not about any of
that just kind of had me thinking because I haven't heard anything about that dude lately. I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry, I just had to. It really got me thinking. So this fight, god damn it. So Vince Morales, you were saying looked good. He looked well rounded. Yep. I still got Yadong in this fight.
Me too.
It's so much hype behind this guy. He's got a good camp. Regardless of them not having a main head coach, he's only 20 years old, so a loss isn't going to really kill him. I got him by decision. This is going to be, I think...
Me too.
I think
there's going to be a lot of decisions on this card.
This fight is going to be a war. I think this will be one of the best fights of the night. I think this will be very close, actually, but I got Song.
I do too.
I got Yadong Song just squeaking out the decision.
Yep. I got it the same way. I think Yadong is going to definitely put the pressure on, but I think Vince Morales is going to take some big fucking shots in this fight and eat a lot of nasty shots to the body and long combos. But I think Morales is slick enough and he moves well enough to be able to hang for all 3 rounds.
I think Yadong is definitely going to start off pretty easy, but then not easy, but he's going to be cautious. But then as it escalates towards the end of the fight, he's going to explode and bust all over Morales.
Subtle.
Yeah.
Subtle pick.
So, what are
the odds looking like on that?
Yeah, so I'll have you guess. Just take it.
I mean, Yadong's a big favorite. It's got to be 500.
Very close. He is minus 550 to a plus 375 Vince Morales.
I figured that's too wide.
Oh, it is. It's way too wide.
It should be in the 3s. Yeah. But if you want to get action on it, that's the way to do it. Nobody knows who Vince Morales is, even though he did look pretty good in his last fight.
Why is his name Vendetta? That makes no sense. It should be Vendetta, but okay.
Yeah, I don't get it. These next 2 are weird.
This fight, I'll admit, I can't remember what league it is. I added Alistair Overeem as a flex play because I wanted
That is a fucking panic move.
It is.
That is one of those Hail Mary fucking flex pulls.
I was thinking, should I do real Hail Mary and do contract? I'm like, nah. I'll do flex because Alistair Overeem is very, very skilled and he's still very talented, and I think he'll get the flex. I'll tell you this. I'm picking him now. That's because I'm ignorant and I know nothing about Sergey Pavlovich.
So, I think you might actually be right in this pick. The problem is, it's basically how much do you trust Overeem's chin is the question.
No, I know. That's why I didn't contract him. That's why he's a flex.
Single heaters, but he doesn't combo anything up.
God, this guy looks like a fucking Julius Caesar looking Ivan Drago. This is not good.
Yeah, but he also, like I said, he doesn't throw combos. It's all single shots.
Oh.
And Reem is pretty good at seeing stuff coming.
Yeah.
It's just when you start, like, throwing a lot at him is when he has trouble. Or at least lately. Like, that's the kind of shit he's been getting caught on. Like, the Ngannou uppercut was the second or third punch in that combo. If I remember right. Because Alistair leaned out of the way of the first one and then got killed with the second one. And Reem's fight IQ is still very good. Oh, God. Am I going to pick Reem by decision in this fight?
That's by the way, that's my pick. Because he can still hit hard. This dude...
Curtis Blaydes and Francis Ngannou are two fucking very good fighters.
Yeah. It's kind of giving me a headache thinking about this.
I know. So you have Reem. What method?
Decision. Like,
Decision?
I could see him... this is the thing. It's a mystery because I haven't seen Pavlovich fight. So I don't know what his chin is. I don't know if his body can take... I have no fucking clue. All I know is Overeem is very technical. He can do pretty much anything. He can grapple pretty decent. He can strike with the kickboxing. With the Muay Thai, he's good in the clinch. It's just his fucking chin. It's just... I'm still picking him. And I think he keeps his distance. That's why I have to go decision. I don't think he's going to go for broke or throw any crazy shots. That's going to leave him exposed to some exploding counter. That's just why I have to go decision with Overeem. He's going to play it very safe.
I'm taking Sergey knockout in the first.
I like that. Hey, I like that pick too.
It's one of those. I feel like we both are right in our picks on this. I just don't know.
I like, by the way, how I've totally disrespected Sergey and haven't not even named. By the way, he's 12-0. For those who don't know, he's fucking his age and date of birth is not available because, like I said, he looks like Drago. So they just
kept Russia.
They kept it a secret. No nickname.
It's like Cuba. There is no actual date of birth or age.
By the way, my friend Jake, he sent me a Reddit post. There is someone who's a firm believer that Yoel Romero is part of a real life super soldier Captain America program, in that the Cuban government as well as the American government have been testing on very superb athletes in hardening their skin and their organs and their muscle density through tests and experiments. And apparently this guy on Reddit believes that Yoel Romero is a real-life Captain America, or as they called it, Captain Cuba.
No, that's just facts, Chris. You should look into it.
Oh, I mean, Bobby Knuckles said punching Yoel was like punching a wall of steel, so, I mean...
Yeah. No, look into it, bro. Like, don't go to the library.
Yeah, what is he, like 42 years old and has the stamina of like a 28-year-old? So, yeah. Facts.
Facts. Hashtag FAX.
Yeah. Or what do those kids on Instagram say? Hashtag no cap or some dumb shit? I don't know what the fuck that is.
Sure. I don't follow kids on Instagram.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, by the way, you know what made me sad over the weekend? My 15-year-old cousin, guess what one of her favorite rappers is?
Lil Zane?
No.
Or Tekashi 6ix9ine?
No, that's almost just as bad. He's dead, thankfully.
The rapey one?
Yeah, the triple X cunt, Tentacion, whatever his name is. And I said, hey, sure. Guess what? You're not going to listen to him anymore. And then I told my aunt. And she's like, thank you.
Yeah. You're like, hey, don't let your kid listen to rapists, bro. Sorry I have to tell you this, but...
Yeah, I was afraid of that. But
yeah,
I had to tell my aunt, so it's all good now. I think
now that we're done with our hot rap takes. Also, I'm not saying you can't like. Wait, I gotta be very careful on this. It's not like you can't like rappers that rap about rape. Shouts to Earl Sweatshirt, but it has to be somewhat tongue in cheek at least.
Yeah, they just can't
Vince
be
Staples. Vince Staples has the line, "You know it's not rape."
By the way, quick...
You know it's not rape if you like it, bitch, is the line from Vince Staples. But it's a tongue-in-cheek song about Earl Sweatshirt kidnapping people and
of course
killing them.
Gotta go into character. Anyways, real quick, my quick hip hop plug, real quick, is if you like rap beefs that aren't really rap beef, but it's rap competition, go ahead and please look up the freestyles that rappers Tory Lanez and Jordan Lucas, who's one of my favorite up and coming rappers, not rackers, I don't know what that is, have put out in just the past 72 hours. It is absolutely fantastic for just freestyling. I just want to put that out there right now. Especially
nice.
Especially Jordan Lucas. That dude is, ever since Eminem had him on his new album, I am so happy for that guy. He's getting so much fame and notoriety to his name, and it's fun. I like seeing good talent. Yeah, so good for Eminem for believing in that guy, because that. Yeah.
If you want to check out some fat beefs, you can listen to. I heard Action Bronson on some Mexican LA radio station talking about Matty Matheson. So there's some fat beefs for you.
Oh, and you mentioned Tekashi 6ix9ine, and he's having a hell of a time with
Bill
Cosby.
He's
having a hell of a time with Bill Cosby right now. So.
Yeah, well, someone should definitely put a bullet in that dude.
How about both?
Yeah. No, how about, yeah.
Well, 6ix9ine guy is a pedophile, like it's been proven, so good for him.
No, yeah, quite on film.
Yeah. Anyways, let's stop talking about pedophile and rapist hip hop rappers. That's right. Very not fun. Let's guess what the odds are on this.
Oh God, we haven't even done this yet.
No, because
how do we segue this far outside?
I don't know.
So I'm gonna say Reem has got to be a favorite, but barely, like 120, 130.
Well, you'd be surprised, and then Mother Russia, Sergey Pavlovich, minus 140.
What? Yeah, that's bullshit.
To a plus 110, Alistair Overeem. Like, wow.
That's pretty even, but that's still bullshit.
Yeah. So, if this goes to decision...
I mean, I would not be surprised if Reem took this decision. It's just a matter of whether he gets killed in the first round or not.
No. I'm saying, like, if this goes to decision, it's going to be motherfucking Pavlovich takes that shit. They want him to win.
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Like... Well, since all the judges are from America, I don't think.
Yeah, I guess they really don't give a fuck. Unless Putin fucking threatens everyone, but who knows?
I don't think Putin is visiting China for this fucking shitty card at 3 a.m.
That is true.
Just a hot take.
Yeah, I don't think he cares that much about his fights unless it's Habib time. But
yeah, no. All right, let's move on to the main event. Now that we've finally gotten here, and this fucking card starts in like an hour and a half.
So we have Curtis Razor Blaydes, record of 10 wins, 1 loss, the American fighter, going up against the Cameroonian fighter, or French fighter, Cameroonian fighter. I don't know what he likes to identify as now. The Cameroonian French fighter, there we go. Francis Ngannou, the Predator, who has incredible goddamn knockout power. But then again, so does Curtis Blaydes as far as when he takes that shit to the ground. Because if you saw his last fight against Alistair Overeem, he opened up his fucking head like a coconut. And that was really bad. That was actually pretty gross. As far as violence.
It was nasty.
That was really bad.
Like, you forget because it was pretty just, like, he was just outworking him early. And then you see him land some ground and pound, you're like, good God.
He went Tony Ferguson. He's like, I use my blades.
Yeah.
Literally.
100%. And he wasn't just like slicing shit either. He just fucked him up.
Yeah. Francis Ngannou, I've mentioned this unfortunately like 2 times now. Last time I saw him fight, I saw him fight in person in a fight that never happened.
In the fight that almost existed.
The most exciting fight was me putting up my phone with the light on. That's about it.
Yeah, you were one of the woo kids.
And going, woo! Real loud.
Yeah, you're just a baby Ric Flair out there.
Yeah. Okay. So, this fight goes one of 2 ways. Either Curtis Blaydes wrestle-fucks Ngannou to a decision, or Francis catches him with some dumb shit. That's all I got. I really hate to just be that blunt about it, but I can't try to give an analysis of this fight in a world where I see Ngannou improving his grappling to a point where he could scramble. I like Francis too. He seems like a cool fucking guy, you know. But
yeah, he seems very nice.
And this is the thing. How old is Francis? He's 32.
Not old.
And he has a resource. I still see potential in this guy being a future champ. Maybe. I mean.
If he ever learns to wrestle.
Well, because DC's retiring. That's the only reason why I say that, too.
Even then, if he learns how to wrestle.
Like, this dude hits so fucking hard. But either way, I'm going with Curtis Blaydes. Curtis Blaydes, that first fight, he TKO'd Curtis, right? It wasn't even like a full-on knockout. How did that...
it was a doctor stoppage via cut.
Was it like a
hematoma,
or was it just like a bad cut?
No, cut. It was like a cut over the eye. Or no, you know what? It was a cut, and then Curtis Blaydes was also having trouble seeing.
That was the
one
be
where
honest.
He held up
I remember...
No, you will remember this part, because this is the one where the doctor asked how many fingers he's holding up, and Curtis Blaydes tries to hold his hand to feel how many fingers it was.
So, did Ngannou knock him down? Like, at all?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember right now.
That's why...
Like, he definitely landed, but I don't remember if he actually knocked him down.
That's, honestly, because of that, is literally the main reason why I'm going Blaydes this time around.
I mean, he definitely landed.
Wow, so that was 2 years ago. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Wow. 2.5 years ago. Holy fuck. April of 2016. So I guess, you know how he said he's already fighting a rematch? That's bullshit. That was almost 3 years ago. Okay, so yeah. I guess it's the right time for a rematch. Why not? Yeah, I got Blaydes. After Blaydes wins via unanimous decision, I mean, I'll just say this. Daniel Cormier, his next fight, I don't even know, actually. You kind of feel it should be Brock because that's what they're trying to do. But my gut says it's going to be John Jones at heavyweight.
Really?
Regardless, this thing.
Oh, wait, DC?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Blaydes versus Jones at heavyweight.
Because this is why my mind was thinking, where does Blaydes go after he wins? I think Blaydes is winning his fight 100%, right? But I'm trying to think, can he get a title shot against DC? But then my brain's thinking, wait, no. What's going to happen is, say Gus beats Jones, right? Or regardless, whatever, Jones wins. DC's not dropping down to 205 because fuck that. Either way, they're doing that third fight. But then again, Jones did say he doesn't want to fight DC. So I don't know. So, you know what? You know what? He will get the next title shot. They'll probably skip over Stipe. God damn it. Oh, that's frustrating. I feel bad for Stipe.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's all
because I kind of like Stipe in a rematch against DC.
I don't.
Well, I don't in the fact that I could see DC saying, okay, well, fuck you, I'm going to wrestle you this time around and just not play around. I could see that. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't know. I just think Stipe can almost beat him just because he was boxing up DC pretty good. And then I'm not blaming it on the eye poke. That's such a weird fight. I watched it again. I don't know. It's not fun talking about that fight. I'm happy for DC. It's fantastic he won. But that was just still such a weird ending to that fight.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? I'm just so confident. Like, if Stipe can go on a run that he did, I feel like he can almost beat any heavyweight. Not any heavyweight.
Pretty much. There's like a couple questions, but he's never not looked good at heavyweight.
Yeah. Oh, but then someone did mention something about Kane coming. Dude, who knows? You know what? Fuck, heavyweight's kind of a mess. I don't know what's... Yeah. God damn it, dude. It's kind of sad talking about it. Anyways, guys, I got Curtis Blaydes. You know what? Is he going to get a title shot? He probably should. But you know what they're probably going to do? They're probably going to have him fight Stipe. You know what that's going to do? It'll just be him versus Stipe.
I would watch that fight.
Yeah, I'd watch it. It's probably going to be a fun fight. Probably a really good fight. And then they'll have DC fight Jones... Or, God, I don't even want to talk about that.
Somebody,
you know what? Yeah. You know what's probably going to be? DC probably would just retire early and they'll say, fuck the belt, and that's it. I don't know. Really don't know.
So for this fight, I think I'm leaning Blaydes via TKO late, like third, fourth, somewhere in there.
Doesn't Ngannou have like an insane chin?
Yeah, no, but I think Ngannou's going to gas and Blaydes
it'll just be called. I see what you mean by that. Yeah, the ref calls it. Yeah.
I think he's just going to ground and pound him.
It'll just be like defenseless strikes. Yeah, like he won't be fucked up. It'll just like he can't defend. Yeah, I know. Okay, that's
he's either Yeah, either in half guard.
That's a very good call, actually.
Or mount, just getting beat.
Yeah, I thought when you meant Tico, like he actually like knocks him out and like on the ground.
I mean, to be fair, depending on how bad he gasses, he could finish him on the feet in later rounds too. Because Blaydes has very good cardio and he's at an elevation. So he does have the fucking, on top of having like regular cardio, Ngannou gassing bad from grappling, and him saying in multiple interviews he's going to focus on grappling. Bro. Exactly. So, should be a fun one though. Although I'm probably watching it tomorrow morning, not tonight.
What do you?
Let's see what. So odds. I have to think Blaydes is actually. I think I know the odds on this one. So why don't you just say it? So I think Blaydes is. Last time I heard, Blaydes was a favorite at like minus 180 or something like that.
Blaydes is currently a favorite at minus 260 to a plus 200 in Ngannou.
Oh, that moved.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I know, I believe Ngannou opened at minus one something, like 160 or something like that. So that line's moved a lot. I 100% think that's fair. I think it's a little wide, but I think it's very fair.
I think so as well.
Cool, man. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this episode here since I have to get this fucking edited and posted in time before these goddamn fights start in... let's go ahead and give an ETA an hour and 15 minutes. So, we will... Now that you guys have already seen the fights and now that you're going back and listening to our podcast, we appreciate it. Thank you, Judo Bill. Shouts out. Hope you guys have had a good holiday, and I hope you're enjoying your long weekend. Chris, you got anything you wanted to shout out?
Not as of now, but I do have plans rolling again, and this time it's going to be more along the line within the next 3 weeks when we line up to episode 100. I have some fun shit I'm thinking of, at least.
Yeah, we will. So. We're not gonna announce anything yet, but just know around because we'll see how all the timing and everything works out. Because end of the year is always crazy since we do our awards and everything too. But keep an eye out because episode 100 of the show, we're gonna be we got some stuff brewing, boys. So,
should we tell them what fight we're lining up for 100? I mean, at least that's fair, right?
Well, I don't know if I don't want to commit to it ahead of time in case because of how schedules work out and shit,
that's right, yeah.
And like how the end of the year ends up going. I haven't done the math on it yet. But yeah, just know episode 100, we got some shit up our sleeve. So look forward to that. Also look forward to that I'm looking forward to that delicious beer I picked up. I think I mentioned that earlier. I don't know if that was on air or off air. I picked up a very good Fremont oatmeal barrel-aged stout.
That's right.
That is dope. That I'm gonna crack for episode 100, I think, if I can make it that long. So we will be back next week, I believe, right, Chris?
There should be another fight next week.
I don't remember what it is. Let me look. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, shit.
It's The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, fuck. I have to catch up on Ultimate Fighter this week.
Oh, it's RDA versus Usman, dude.
Oh, okay. I'm back on board. I was very not on board because of Ultimate Fighter, but I'm back on board.
Yeah, that's the main event.
Yeah, that main card actually is pretty good, even though it's like 1,900 fights. Oh, who the fuck from Ultimate Fighter is actually fighting on this card? There's so many fights already booked.
Dude, I didn't even watch that season, so I couldn't tell you.
I watched like up until Katrina Linner lost, and then I was like, yeah, I'm good. Oh, Macy Chasson made it pretty far. That Macy Chasson, Katrina Linner, and Panicky and Zad were my 3 picks, so looks like I am doing all right on that one. Nice. And anyway, that'll be interesting, I guess. A fucking heavyweight. I forgot there's goddamn heavyweights on this season. Anyway, we'll be back for that next week, so I'll do the goddamn research and I'll go watch some fucking tough this week, even though I don't want to. So look forward to that, and yeah, we will be back next week. Chris, anything else you wanted to add?
That's it for me.
Cool. Well, we will be back, and until next time, everybody, go do something decadent, and hopefully I hope you enjoyed these fights since they probably already happened by the time you heard this. We out. Bye.